welcome one and all to this here GymACT live presentation of an exciting competition. Today, we have two phenomenal teams facing off for the first time ever, virtually or in person for that matter. And we have the teams from Kansas City United and Arizona State University. Kansas City United is coming to us from Emerald City Gymnastics Center, and ASU coming to us from Aspire Kids Sports Center. This dual meet is brought to you by the intrepid geeks of Virtual Stars Gymnastics, and the video production being done by John Lucas, my cohort from NorCal United. He is at the YouTube channel Men's College Gymnastics. Thanks for joining us. This is a GymACT presentation. We call it GymACT Live, where we have in real time two teams facing off each other virtually from the comfort of their own home gyms. And that's what it's about, keeping the college gymnastics experience going to the best of our ability in these times we're living. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to first welcome the visiting team. We're going to welcome the home team first, as always. Now, both teams, of course, are at home, but we had to designate one as the home team, one as the visiting team. And Kansas City United will be from Overland Park in Emerald City. Coaches Mike Thomas and assistants Steve Glickley and Rich Quick are the coaches of this team. They are a brand new team, new to GymACT, and this is their first dual competition ever. So we're excited to have them. This is an exciting moment in the history of men's collegiate gymnastics. Welcome to Kansas City United. So now I would like to invite Mr. Mike Thomas and or Steve Glickley, and then let's have you guys go ahead and introduce your own team. Can I have one of you guys up? I sprung that up on you, didn't I? Yeah, you didn't know this was happening. So you can do this one of two ways. You can either unmute yourself in Discord or on Zoom, and this is something that we like to try to do, is have you guys introduce your own team, one athlete at a time. Now, how are we going to make that happen? We're going to see it now, ladies and gentlemen. This is real-time live event happening, and here we are.
Okay, here we are. For Kansas City United, we have Braden Jevney. Raise your hand, Braden. Isaac Schultz, Callan Casiopo, Noah Spencer, and Chance Brogan, Kansas City United.
There they are. Welcome, the brand new team to GymACT and collegiate gymnastics. These guys, I understand, they're all freshmen, so this is pretty exciting. Now go ahead and thank you for muting yourself in Zoom there. This is awesome. So thank you, Mike, for introducing your team there. Coach Mike Thomas, spearheading the new program in Kansas, and in fact, between Kansas and Missouri. So there we are. Moving right along to ASU and Coach Scott Barkley, my good friend. Are you there with us, sir? Or who's going to be doing the introduction of the team today? The ASU team coming to us today from Aspire Kids Sports Center. That's their home gym. And of course, we're going to see if we can get one of the coaches to come on board with the speaking in Discord in the live on-air channel. That would be the preferred place for us to hear your voice. ASU, I see you guys on the team rep. Still in the meet management. Okay. Here we are.
All right. Let me introduce our team for today. From Las Vegas, Nevada, second year, Alex Tanky. From Sharpsburg, Georgia, Andrew Fincher, first year. All the way from Exeter, New Hampshire, first year, Brett Balzer. From Barksdale, Louisiana, first year, Kate DiGirolamo. From Ovilla, Texas, first year, Camden Neiman. From Sedona, Arizona, Hayden Goldstein, first year. From Camarillo, California, a year and a half, Hunter Burnett. From Richmond, Rhode Island, Jackson Harrison. First year. Second year, Flagstaff, Arizona, Nate Hutchinson. His first year from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Noah Hansen. In his first year from Cary, Illinois, Ryan Swashino. And our team captain today, second year from Oak Park, California, Blake Tingzon. And coaches, assistant coach Brian Kern. First year from Cary, Illinois, Ryan Swashino.
I think that'll be it for the ASU team. I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and mute yourself in Zoom now, so we stop with the feedback there. That's fantastic. Coach Scott Barkley, everybody, thank you very much for introducing your team. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to do the traditional playing of the Star Spangled Banner at the beginning of our gymnastics competition. So if you are able and capable, please do stand to honor the national anthem. Goosebumps every time. Goosebumps every time. Gentlemen, please go on ahead to your first competitive event. You have a 2-minute one touch while I do some virtual welcomes. So coaches, thank you very much. Go ahead and take your teams to that first floor exercise event. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, I am Breeze Olson here in Santa Cruz, California, and I am representing tonight GymACT. And GymACT is here to foster the growth of men's college gymnastics programs, strengthen and raise the level of our sport, and protect the relationships and integrity of collegiate gymnastics. While promoting the essence of the sport and its competitiveness, we provide ideas and tools to inspire the creation of new teams and support existing programs in their pursuit of higher standards. Today is the epitome of what GymACT stands for. This is the highlight because we have the oldest club team recently turned GymACT program because we just recently created the organization. And then we have the newest member of the organization, Kansas City United, having just joined us. We have 11 programs this year. We have programs all across the country, and I'll just label all 11 of them real quick, give them a quick shout out. Arizona State, Georgia United, Kansas City United, New York Alliance, NorCal United, my home state, Northern Illinois, Rocky Mountain, Southern California United, Temple University, University of Illinois, Chicago, and Washington Men's Gym. These 11 teams span across the entire United States. We do have more teams in the formation as well as down the pike. Once teams unfortunately get dropped from their status as varsity teams from NCAA, they do have the option of joining our stratum and compete with these amazing teams that we have with you here today. So once again, this is GymACT Live, and we have a virtual team of intrepid athletes, coaches, judges, all behind the scenes. I would like to introduce them really quickly. With me today, I have Robert Davis, who is the score master behind this operation. He is the geek in charge. He's the one who's created the platform at Virtual Stars Gymnastics that is running with all of the judging scoring systems, as well as the website that the public gets to see with the scores showing up in real time immediately as the judges enter those scores. Thank you, Robert, for all your hard work and dedication there. John Lucas, the production manager, he's the man behind the video screens. He is the one who shows the world, including the judges, what routines are being shown. Of course, we're using a plethora of different technologies here between Zoom and YouTube and Discord and Virtual Stars Gymnastics, all put together into this one meshing system that is somewhat tricky to use, but as it works really well, we appreciate that. So thank you, John and Robert, for that. The judges for today, we have from Oregon, Mr. Mike Cook. Mike, thank you so much for being here. He's already a veteran. We've done several of these meets together. Mike, thank you once again for being here and being our anchor man. We have John Portillo from Colorado these days. John and I go a long way back. He and I did college together back in the previous millennium. Brian Cooper, our newbie judge for today in the virtual world, but Brian has a plethora of experiences in the judging community. Brian from us to us today from Kansas. So Brian, thank you for joining us here with Virtual Stars Gymnastics and the GymACT family. You are most certainly welcome, and we are happy and lucky to have you, sir. All right, judges, I appreciate you being here. Now, please go on ahead into your meet management channel in Discord. Go ahead and take care of business there so I can continue talking about you behind your back. And with me, live and on air, will be my brother, Mr. Kevin Riggle from Arizona. Kevin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Breeze, and I'm excited to see some great gymnastics from both these teams today.
Oh, man. Me too, man. Me too. And we're going to go ahead here and set the stage for folks at home. And this is a dual competition, but a little different dual competition format that you normally see when you go to a live meet. Usually the home team starts on floor, the away team starts on pommel horse. They do their routines, and then they flop back and forth between those events. But here, because we have the luxury of each team being in their own home gym, we can go ahead and both teams will be starting on floor exercise. So as soon as the judges are ready and I hear the go flag from them, we're going to start with the quote unquote home team, Kansas City United. They will always be performing the first routine on each event. And then we will alternate between Kansas City and Arizona State back to back. And we have those three judges that I just announced. And the way that we have the judges is that they also alternate between the teams in a kind of a do-si-do fashion that we're going to have for the first event. I believe that we're going to have, let's see, I'm going to pull up my list here of the judges. And it looks like we're going to have Mr. John Portillo be the first execution judge. So he's going to be doing the execution deductions for both teams on floor exercise. And then Brian Cooper will be the D judge or the difficulty judge for the Kansas City team. And then Mike Cook will be doing the D scores for the ASU team. Each event, we're going to be rotating these judges around so that we keep things fresh and also fair to both teams so that no one team gets stuck with one of these judges, right? We don't want that to happen because we know that some of these guys are meaner than others. But not here. These guys are awesome. I do love all these guys. That's why we call them out, because they do make things for us to be able to. And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the first man of the meet from Kansas City. He's already started his routine. This is Mr. Braden Jevney. Starting with a strong first pass already.
Yeah, Braden is an all-around guy here from Emerald City is his junior club, and he is a aerospace engineering major. So as you can imagine, trying to balance a hard major like that and be part of the first ever Kansas City United team, that's very admirable. And he's starting them off strong here. We've got some good landings, really showing off that good presentation. I just can't say how excited I am to be part of the first ever Kansas City United meet here. I'm so excited to see what these five young men can put together here.
Indeed. And these guys are all freshmen too, so they're kicking into high gear right here into the big leagues. finishing with a strong 1.5 dismount. Well done, Braden. That was really, really good routine for them. Great way to start Kansas City. Starting strong. First man up, first meet ever, dual meet competition. I know these guys had a meet a couple of weeks ago by submission, and our athletes from NorCal United got to submit our routines for scores against them, which is why we made it a dual meet. But this is the first in-person live real-time competition for these guys, so they're feeling what it's like to compete against an actual team on the other side of the screen there. So things move pretty quickly here. We already have the score in for the execution judge, so we're going to go ahead to ASU with Alec Shaky performing his routine.
This is Alex Skanky from Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's see what he's got here. Big double full. Unfortunately, just a little over-rotated there. Pikes it down and bounces out of bounds. And as we've talked about,
first routine, we got those jitters.
Yep. But he's settling in really nicely with that nice double back with just a small hop there. And just a quick kind of scoring overview, just in case we have anybody that has never actually learned how the scoring works here. The athletes have kind of two judges dueling it out. Every time they do something, they gain points, and every time they make a mistake, they lose points, and it all balances out at the end. Skanky's coming in. He's finding those landings. Very, very small hop there. And here we go. Let's see. Think this should be his dismount right here. Oh, I apologize.
Still going, man.
He's got one more here.
He's got more to show.
Yep.
Got that endo to do. That's my favorite corner move there. It's called an endo. Gymnast by that same name from Japan created that skill. In fact, endo has a skill in just about every event.
And here we go. This is what it all comes down to right here. His team's getting him hyped up. We're coming in for a big dismount here. And this is what the last thing that every judge sees. So let's see what he can find. Oh.
Just a little short on the landing there. That was Alex Skanky for ASU performing a really good set and great passes all across. Unfortunately, lost a little bit of gas there at the end of the routine, and but there he goes getting some love from his brothers, and that's what it's about. We got a long way to go. There are 4 routines per event for these teams for the team score, and then we've got 6 events. That's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, we are in the very beginning of this duel. Braden from KCU put up a 10.3 on floor, so we're definitely looking for some higher scores there. But it's a solid start for KCU, and the execution's in for Alec, and we'll just have to wait and see what the rest of his score comes out to be.
Moving right along, we already got a salute. We have Isaac Schultz from KCU, Kansas City United, in the house.
Yep, and this very nice back full there with a nice queen stick. That's what they need to do. If KCU can find their landings, they're going to stay well alive in this competition today. And wow, Isaac's got to have double-sided tape on his feet there. He's stuck everything so far. Going into a nice non-acrobatic handstand full pirouette. Isaac is going to Maplewoods Community College right now. And he is
seen a scale performed in a long time since he used to be a requirement in the floor routines. I appreciate a man bringing back a little classic in his routines. Oh yeah.
And a nice, very nice back double full and just a small hop. That's going to score incredibly well. Just because there was no deduction. Definitely didn't have a ton of difficulty in there, but he just didn't have any deductions. The last ASU gymnast we saw, Alex Skanky, brings home a 10.9. So that does put ASU just slightly ahead, but Breeze, as you and I know, 6/10 is nothing in this sport.
That's going to be overcome very quickly, just in a matter of seconds. So moving right along to the ASU side of the world over there at Aspire Gymnastics, we're going to have Brett Balzers, and Brett will come to us. Now, remembering that, clean routines is the name of the game. Both of these teams over here today, I believe, are going to go with the strategy of, keeping things as clean as possible because they were getting close to the end of the season. And you saw there a double pike, actually a pretty difficult skill, but performed very well.
Yeah, again, just that big hop out of bounds. But other than that, very nice. Coming back to that double front.
Might as well tuck it.
That's it. It's doubling down on that. Brett's actually a coach here locally, and he actually coaches for me, does a great job with the kids, and loves this sport very much, and you see that coming out in his tumbling. He's another one of those guys that you can't judge the book by the cover. He doesn't look like he'd be incredibly powerful, but as you can see, he's got some big stuff, tiny hop on that Rudy there. This is what ASU needed right here. Just a good, clean, under control routine. Let's see if he can keep it going all the way to the end.
Indeed, indeed. And if you're following along with us here at Virtual Stars Gymnastics website, you see that the scores are being shown in real time immediately as the judges are displaying them. But if you are joining in the YouTube world, then you have the capability of chatting with us by text right there and then. If you have some comments, concerns, I see that there's at least 40 people watching right now. So, hey, what's going on there? Where are you coming from? What you got to say about the gymnastics you've seen right now? Got any questions? We are sure to make up some answers for you.
And if you didn't catch that, that was a Sun Devil stuck dismount on that front double full. Huge set from Brett Balzer. We're going to see a nice big score there. Isaac Schultz brought home an 11.4 for KCU. So we're going to see if Brett's can keep up with that, because that's going to make this fight very, very tight.
Yeah, we're looking at some of these the variations of scores being so close, and I usually say that if you can keep the deduction side of the world down to under 2 points, you're doing a great job. Execution, if you have 7 skills in your routine, you got yourself 10 points to play, and why give it away? If you can do 7 skills, keep it clean, and not give anything away at all, then that's what you want. And we'll see if we can get that out of this gentleman right here from KCU, Mr. Kalen Cachopo, and see what Kalen has to do. Kalen, not Kalen. Why don't I say it right? Thank you.
And Kalen will be competing all around in today's competition. And he's coming to us from that was interesting. Lenexa, Kansas. Don't know if that was 100% correct. His former junior club was Emerald City.
You got it.
And so let's see if he can make his former coaches proud here. Nice double full there. Again, we're seeing that a lot today, Breeze, where they're just getting a little excited and they're piking down just that little bit, finding it better in the Rudy there, and just covering nice into that beautiful cartwheel. You can tell these guys, one of the biggest things we talk about, as Breezy already mentioned, is all these guys are freshmen. And even virtually, the college gymnastics competitive experience is just so much different than the junior experience right now.
All right, let's hold on for a second there. That looks sketchy, but Callan pulls it together, stands back up on his feet. In gymnastics, as we all know, you have to get up one time more than you fell down. Callan, like a champ, finishing there and standing up and being greeted by his brothers. And it's unfortunate when something like that happens, and you were just saying that the excitement of a competition, it gets the jitters, you get your excitement, and sometimes you let that get away from you. And hopefully these guys can settle back down into their comfort zone. They are competing at home. They just need to remember that gymnastics is you just compete what you practice, and you try not to make any special event happen at the competition. Just do what you got to do from your training days. And these guys, as freshmen, will certainly learn how to pace themselves, how to control those emotions, and then bring it the best they can for their team. Moving right along to ASU, this is Mr. Hayden Goldstein.
Let's see what he's got here, Breeze. He's going to come out of the gate strong. Beautiful double back. Very, very nice. Small hop on the landing.
It's unmuted.
And there's some very nice non-acrobatic work. That triple Russian, you're going to see quite a bit, because if you can do it, if you're a Pommel guy and you can do that on the horse, putting it on the floor really isn't too much harder. Beautiful press out of it. Nice, good control. Kalen does bring home a 10-8, and Brett from ASU, that real big set we saw, actually only brought home an 11.5 because he lost almost 3 points in his execution. So like you were saying earlier, Breeze, this battle on floor is going to come down to who can do it clean.
Yeah, obviously these guys are testing themselves and testing their own limits and trying to put as much difficulty as they can. And, but that the balance between difficulty and clean gymnastics, there it is, a double full with a stuck landing. That's what we want to see. That is a great way to finish a routine. Not only does it put that exclamation point at the end of a great routine, in fact, but it also pumps up the rest of the team and gets them excited for the next guy up. That's good momentum there for ASU from Hayden Goldstein. Well done, sir. And right away, because the judges are humping fast here, these scores, and we're going to go to KCU, Mr. Noah Spencer.
All right, let's see what Noah's got for us here.
Now, in the back stages of these virtual competitions, we have the judges switching back and forth between screens and going into enter the scores and talking to one another on a different technology. All kinds of tricky things going on. But look at that. It all works beautifully for these athletes. This is Noah Spencer showing us the best of his routines, best of his gymnastics today. Nice combination going layout, front layout full, well executed.
Yeah, he is looking very clean here, and that's just what KCU needs to do with a whole lineup of just freshmen. If they can keep it clean, they're going to stay competitive on the GymACT circuit for sure.
That's right. And he is from Olathe, Kansas, and he's also a freshman here, as we mentioned. The whole team of freshmen going to school at Burke Acting School to become an actor, a man after my own heart. I appreciate that. Go
finish
human
strong. You got it.
arts.
All right, let's see what he's got here. Nice dismount. Back to 2.5.
2.5 as a dismount. Well done. That is a D-level skill. Now, if any one of these athletes today stick a D-level or higher dismount, they do receive a stick bonus landing flag, and then it's a 1/10 bonus for the routines. And we see that from ASU, Brett Balser did get himself a stuck landing and a bonus point there. So unfortunately, Noah did not stick, so he doesn't get his stick. But if he would have, he would have. Moving right along. Now that is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we got one more athlete from ASU. Jackson Harrison.
Breeze, we've talked about Jackson in the past. He's a tall athlete, which in the sport of gymnastics can be very tricky. But, man, Jackson makes it work for him, especially with this big opening pass right here. Huge Arabian double flip.
Look at that.
Just the smallest step. I love watching this guy's gymnastics. He has so much artistry, which is just so rare. You know, the full name of
2.5 punch front layout. That's a huge combination.
Absolutely, and it's artistic gymnastics, and Jackson really brings that back. Beautiful back 1.5 foot full with a nice strong stick. Man, ASU really needed this 4 set right here. Let's see if Jackson can just keep it going. Good control in his press handstand. Little balance check there, but not bad at all. We do see Noah Spencer from KCU, that last routine we just watched, brings home an 11-7, which keeps KCU in this fight all day long. Very nice, Rudy. Breeze, he twisted so late on that. That's such an interesting technique you just don't see anymore. And let's see what he's got for a big dismount here.
An elegant athlete, powerful, shows off his strengths. Front double full, and that was nearly a stuck landing. I don't know. Of course, the ASU guys want that stuck landing, but I'm not sure. I think the judges are going to have noticed that was a small little step or hop. And, every little deviation of perfection is a deduction. And that's what works, that separates the men from the boys. And if you got to stick your landings to get that flag in the 1/10 bonus. Yeah, now I'm getting confirmation from the bird of my ears that the judges did not agree with the stuck landing from the ASU guys there. So sorry, guys, put that flag down.
But other than that, Jackson,
what a beautiful routine.
Only loses 1.4 on that. That is incredible. From a very difficult routine, like Breezy said earlier, anything under 2 points in deduction is going to be a fantastic routine. So 1.4, he's got to be happy with that.
Come on,
yeah, they should definitely. Now you will see a couple more routines being presented from each team today. We're going to have Chance Brogan from KCU. These guys are competing at a 5-up 4-count mechanism today, if you will. Excuse me, it's actually 4-up 4 counts. Those are the scores you're going to see on our website for the today's competition. In order to make it a fair fight between the two teams, that's the protocol.
There you go.
Nice big back layout there. And KCU, man, they're just looking really clean on floor. They don't quite have the difficulty, but it's paying off for them. Nice back full, and they're just finding their sticks, Breeze. And like you said earlier, stuck landings are what win and lose meets right there.
Yeah, floor exercise is unforgiving. You have a lot of passes, a lot of skills, and you just got to be precise with every single one of those. See those tiny little hops right there? Obviously, Chance is going to try to minimize those throughout his routine and competition. And, these guys are doing great gymnastics, man, and there's a lot happening. There's a lot of skills. This is a long set, 60 to 70 seconds of tumbling and non-acrobatic skills. He's putting it all down here on the line for his team, his brand new team, Kansas City United. Welcome to GymACT. Chance Brogan from Kansas City with a beautiful routine, excellent skills, nice and high, showing elegance. and finding the ground with his feet. Now, that's the first thing, right? You got to land on your feet, and he did that on every one of his passes. So congratulations.
Yeah.
Looking at the, go ahead.
Oh, it was just a really nice, beautiful routine from Chance there, and KCU is coming out really, really strong with all that. They just come out clean like that. I'm really excited to see what this band of brothers, they're only 5 guys. So it's going to be a tight fight all day. And I'm really curious to see if they can keep that cleanliness up through all 6 events. Because Breeze, as you mentioned earlier, we're just starting out and this is event number 1. We still got 5 more. A meet isn't made or broken until that last event.
Indeed. And we're going to have now an exhibition performance by Mr. Caden DiGirolamo from ASU. And I say exhibition because, again, he's not part of that 4 count team, but he will get his score tabulated by the judges, and his score will count for the national ranking system. As when we go into the national ranking systems, it is a 5 count equation. So for today's competition, we're going to keep our website showing only the 4 scores for each of the teams, but later down we'll tabulate the whole thing in the 5 count, and that's what goes to the official national rankings. So that's the 2 variations there. But today, this will be the last time I mentioned that. 4 men up, 4 count, and then anyone beyond that will be seeing the routine. They will be judged by the judges, and you see here that Caden is putting it all on line. He's not taking anything for granted. He wants to help his team bounce up as high as possible on that scoring system in the national rankings, which is in roadtonationals.com if you ever want to check it out.
Absolutely, and he is throwing down a beautiful 4 set, big dismount, back to 1/2 with the tiniest hop. Man, these Sun Devils just gotta find those last tiny little landings. But a great set for him. And Breeze, like you said earlier, he's out here. His score isn't counting for the competition we're in, but it is counting for his team's national rankings, and that's everything. We're toward the end of season, as you mentioned earlier, and these guys, gymnastics is just so hard on their bodies that it's amazing that he's out here, doing extra and pushing himself even more to the physical limits to be able to push that team to the top, and that's just incredible. And we talk about it all the time, Breeze. That is, at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's doing it for your brothers. And even if it's not doing it for your brothers in that moment, it's just doing what's best for the team overall. And that's just an incredible, incredible trait of all gymnasts.
That's right.
And it's one of the big reasons I feel so blessed to have done college gymnastics.
Yeah, indeed. It is the best time of an athlete's life in gymnastics. There's no higher standard than the excitement and the emotion that comes through from being there with your teammates in a college experience. I had the great opportunity of performing and competing across the world, representing my country of Brazil. And you see my flag behind me here, always loud and proud. And but none of it matched the excitement of a college experience. It really was the best time of my life. And I'm, to this day, helping maintain that dream of life for anyone I can, and trying to make sure that these guys get the opportunity to do that. And so we'll do everything in our capacity to have these boys be able to compete, to have these boys be able to perform their best gymnastics right here in the best time of their lives, the best form, the best ability, and that's where it's at. And speaking of best form, let's just go ahead and talk about the team standings. With a 4 men up, 4 count, we have in second place after floor exercise, we have 44.2 for Kansas City United and 47.9 for the ASU team. Now, experience has been showing that Arizona State has been stepping up there a little bit higher with the difficulty, keeping the routines a little cleaner, and showing that in this sport, experience plays a huge part. And and that's where it's at. These guys, this young team from Kansas, brand new team, will be hopefully taking notes from these guys at ASU, and also but holding their own as far as I'm concerned. Great presentations already on floor exercise. And we're moving on to Pommel horse. I think I'm going to check in with the judges here. Kevin, hold the fort for a second. We'll see where we are.
Yeah, no problem, Breeze. And just for all of you sitting at home, go over some quick judging.
Quick, because I think these guys are ready, actually. So we're gonna. Sorry, man. That was fast. I get the. We're not gonna hold them up by talking. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to the second event of the competition, and then we'll update you on the scoring systems. as soon as we get a chance. But as fast as the judges are, we have to keep going. So
Absolutely.
from Kansas City United, we have Braden Jevney, and Braden is from he's the aerospace engineer. Oh, I wanted to say something about that later. Remind me of that, because that's a fun factoid about yesterday's meet that we just announced. And he is from Paola High School. Shout out to Paola. So we have the judges on the pommel horse, and like I said, we rotate them around a little bit, but they are ready to go. The judges on the pommel horse today will be Mr. Mike. Excuse me, I'm going to go with Brian Cooper as the execution judge, and then for the KCU team, Mike Cook, and then for the Arizona team, John Portillo. Thank you, gentlemen, for doing what you do.
Focus, you got it.
There goes Braden, stays on the horse.
Very nice routine from
One
KCU.
up, one down.
Yep, started them off super strong, and that's like we talked about earlier. That's what KCU's just got to do all day long. Nice and clean. Definitely had a couple little bobbles in there, but wow, they came out swinging, and that's fantastic to see.
A great first routine for KCU indeed. Staying on the horse, that's number one priority. If you stay on, you fight through, you guarantee a better score, and the emotional level of your teammates will go up higher that way too. So great job, Casey. Moving right along to ASU, we're going to have Hayden Goldstein on pommel horse.
And let's see what Hayden's got for us here.
Takes a second or two for the communication to go from the judges to the team representative and then passing that on to the athletes. There's a big game of telephone that's being played every time we switch from one athlete to another. And obviously, as every meet, in the beginning, we move things a little slower, a little more carefully, just to ensure that everyone is where they're supposed to be. And here goes Mr. Hayden Goldstein, swinging strong and ample. My goodness, look at the extension of that circle.
That's a beautiful circle right there, getting that Magyar Savato right in, stepping on up onto the pommels. He's swinging quick, and that's what you want to see. The speed is your friend on pommel horse as long as you can handle it.
There you go.
Little bobble,
little check,
but picks it back up and hits a strong routine. Wow. That was great. That was a fantastic set from ASU. That's going to come home.
Kevin, tell me a little bit about this enthusiasm. We got guys flying around the flag. We got the running and the hugging. What's happening there, this team? What are these guys up to?
Well, I mean, it's being part of a college team, Breeze. Like we said earlier, it's very, very, a lot of times people will compare it to a fraternity, and that's what it is. It is a band of brothers out here, and we have, if you didn't know, ASU has two lineups. They have the gold team and the maroon team, and today's lineup is the maroon team, but sitting in the stands is actually the entire gold team. They're here just representing. They're helping run the meet on the backside, doing some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. They got all their bleachers and everything set up, so it's just great to see. Every time a guy hits or he's up there, Coach says it all the time here at ASU, when you're up there swinging, there are 35 guys swinging with you. So here
that's it, and now in KCU, here we go. We have Mr. Noah Spencer on pommel horse, showing us his first start there, the full scissor to the end. Well, if you can do it with a hop, might as well stay in place. Full scissor again. Picks up the circle with speed and amplitude. Nicely done. Simple travel down to get that conversion into the required skills. On and off the horse, clean and simple. Done. Well done, Noah Spencer. That is textbook college gymnastics right there. Keep it simple, keep it short, and hit the routine, buddy. Well done there, Spencer. Well done.
Yeah, that's going to do really well, especially the first guy up from KCU actually ended up with a 4.5, had a big adjustment on his score there, so KCU really needed that. Hayden Goldstein comes home with a big 12-0 for ASU. That's going to help like crazy, as that is a tight race coming off the floor. So we'll see what Noah Spencer ends up with a final score here.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier that these routines, they're required to have at least 7 skills. And if for some reason, you get a little wobble and you miss a hand placement, you may not get credit for one of the skills, and you're right there on the cusp of getting the credit or not, you may be dropping 4 points of adjustment is exactly what happens if you don't have 7. If you have 6 skills in your routine, you lose 4 points automatically. That's a huge hit for anyone, so we'll try to avoid those, of course. But looking over here at Hunter Burnett, and he's got some good extension, going up and down a little too much there, but it's swinging tight now.
And again, he's swinging fast. And man, oh, here we go with the woo. That is such a difficult skill. And then he's
so this will be a good example here, ladies and gentlemen, where he performed a skill that didn't quite finish all the way through. So you see the athletes and the judges looking at the camera, looking at the team representative. They're getting the heads up from the judges whether or not he qualified that skill for credit. And we're looking at the fact that he does not get credit for that skill. So you're going to see him conferring with this coach there momentarily to say, hey, do I do that again or do I just move on? That depends. Does he have 7 other skills to fill out that routine? If he doesn't, he's got to try that again. We'll see where he goes from here.
And we did just get a score adjustment from Brendan. The first guy up from KCU is actually going to finish with a 9.0. You know, the judges must have gotten together and decided they found enough skills. And really nice dismount here for
Well
ASU.
done, Hunter. Turns out he did not need that Roth across after all. He finished his routine strong, and in fact, it was the right decision. Sometimes when you have to repeat that skill, it takes so much juice out of you, and your dismount suffers for that. But it looks like Hunter made the right choice. He and his coaches there on the spot, and finished a beautiful routine with just that one fall and one missing skill. But we'll see what the judges do with that as far as scoring goes.
Absolutely. KCU, Noah Spencer, the last routine from KCU there, came home with a 10.8. So definitely helping the team out there. And Hunter on that routine with the fall. And the fall, remember, is a full point deduction. Has lost 2.5 points. So depending on what his start value is, I think KCU is still very much in this fight, which is just so impressive from such a young team.
Yeah.
So next up, KCU is bringing home Isaac Schultz here. Let's see what he's got for KCU on pommels.
Nice.
That scissor full we saw earlier. Into that woo that Hunter just fell on. Very, very nice. Getting a little loose.
Double there.
And
That's unfortunate. Yeah, pommel horse is unforgiving. I mean, you're fighting gravity 100% of the time, 100 at a time. 100% of the time. 100% of the time. Let me speak a little bit slower. And, every little wobble, it throws you off.
There you go.
Nice flop work there. Just a little loose in a circle, but he's got some good technique and he's got some good rhythm.
Come on, Isaac.
Ooh, nice Wendy sequence dismount. I like that.
Very, very unique gymnastics coming out of KCU. Some old school stuff that you just don't see very much anymore, and it's a pleasure to watch. It really is.
It really is. I enjoy this artistry that's being shown here by KCU. These guys, they're putting some good skills together and a sequence of routines that I really appreciate it, and the judges do too. This is the kind of thing where anytime the judges get to go, wow, that was kind of neat. It puts a smile on all of our faces, both as an audience and as a gymnastics enthusiast. Here we are. Moving right along to ASU, we're going to have Mr. Alec Skanky.
Yep, and Alex Skanky is coming to us. He's in his second year on the team, so he's a sophomore to ASU here from Las Vegas, Nevada. And he came from Vitaly Sherbos and then transferred to Desert GymCats for his optional career. And let's see what he's got here for us on pommels.
Vitaly Sherbos, always a powerhouse of gymnastics in the state of Nevada in Region 1. They always have strong athletes all across the board. Run a tight ship there, run by Vitaly Sherbos, of course, the most decorated male gymnast ever. Shout out to Vitaly. Thanks for all your contributions to the sport.
And I mean, it shows right there. Alec just threw down a really nice, clean pommel horse set. Again, not seeing that handstand dismount that we really want to see from him, but if he can hit an A value dismount, it's going to take a hit in his start value. But if you can hit it with no deductions, but you can do the D dismount with a point in deductions, it's always worth doing that A. And we have a final score from Isaac Schultz, last guy from KCU, ends up with an 8.7. And again, you just can't fall on pommel horse and get a good score. It's the name of the game. You got to stay on that horse.
Let's go, Callan.
And here we go right back to Kansas City, Mr. Callan Cacioppo.
And Alex Skanky will lose is 1.3 on that entire routine. That is an incredible execution score. That's going to help big, even like we said with that lower value dismount. It doesn't matter when you're only taking 1.3. So let's see what Callan's got for us from KCU. They need a good set that stays on here. Nice scissor full, a little hang up on the horse, but overall nice and clean. See what he's got as he answers his circles.
Keeping the momentum going.
Nice. Come on.
Changing
Swing with that
direction.
check
That's a
here.
required skill right there. Getting check boxes on his required skills. Travel, another requirement skill. Here comes the dismount for the fourth and last requirement. Beautifully done. That is Callan Cacioppo for Kansas City United.
And KCU needed that, and Callan came home and swung hard for his team. That was a great routine from Callan.
Putting it together when it counts. That's what it's all about.
Alex Skanke from ASU that we just watched brings home a huge 11.6. That's going to help out that ASU lineup on Pommel horse big time.
And here we go.
Scores in. Callan's execution score comes in. He loses 2.2. So like Breeze was talking about earlier, he's real close to that 2.0 mark that we're looking for.
And the last man up for ASU, for the team score, Mr. Camden Neiman. Camden is going to be performing Pommel horse for his team. Let's see what Camden has to show.
Yep. And we have a score from KCU. Callan brings home a 10.6 on that Pommel set. So not a bad score at all for KCU. All right, let's see what Camden's got here. Bring that circle up. He's got a little bit of a hip angle. There he goes. He gets that circle moving. Sometimes they just need a minute to get that momentum moving to get those hips open. Little pike there, but he does a good job staying on. Hits that side travel. We go coming into the dismount. That nice uphill to a swing handstand. Very nicely done. Nice and clean on and off. That's going to score well for ASU.
Good job, Quinn.
And then we are getting ready with Chance from KCU. Let's see, KCU is going to need some good swing here, need some good set, and see what Chance has. Again, a freshman. He's an undeclared major. He will be competing all around today's competition, and he's from Emerald City. A lot of this KCU team is from the Emerald City Gymnastics Club there in Kansas City. So a lot of these guys probably grew up together, worked together really well, and have decided to take on the college circuit, which is huge. So Camden, again, losing just 1.3 from ASU, brings home an 11.5. That's awesome. ASU is really, really picking up here on horse. So KCU, if they want to stay in this fight, are going to need some good swing here. Beautiful scissor full in the middle. Nice scissor half to the end. And let's see what he's got here as he enters his circle work.
There you go. Come on. Come on, Chance. Come on.
Nice, just taking lots of small deductions, but he's staying on strong. Let's see if he can take it all the way to the end. Breeze, as you know,
it's a lot of circles in a routine, and every one of those knee bends counts.
But overall, a nice hit from Chance.
Well done indeed. Here's the thing. We did have one fall from KCU over there, but overall, we're getting hit after hit from these guys. They're doing their routines. They're keeping it on the horse and making every skill count, making sure that they get credit for every single skill in the routine, because when you have a short routine, you got to make sure that you cover all your bases. And these guys are doing just that. Well done. Some good routine construction that are making them short and sweet and covering all of the requirements. I'm looking back on the scoreboard and making sure that none of these guys actually received that dreadful 4-point adjustment. It turns out that we had one earlier, but the judges must have realized that they made a mistake on the count, and it turns out every one of these athletes got their full routines in. So that's awesome. Absolutely. So here we go with Andrew Fincher from ASU. He's performing his routine as an exhibition, not counting towards the team score, but let's see what he's got. A beautiful Magyar sequence coming up here.
Yep.
Simple travel up.
Yep, and again, he's just out here swinging for his brothers, putting down a real nice clean set. The scissor work kept rhythm, which is so unique. A lot of times that scissor work ends up hanging up and taking a big deduction. Ooh, good save there on that travel down. Big leg bend you saw, but he stayed on and ended up really saving a bunch of deduction in that dismount. That was a very, very nice set.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put it out to you in the YouTube world. There's lots of comments, lots of questions, and I'll read through those very quickly here. But, here's what happens. That was from ASU, Mr. Andrew Fincher. Now, by the rules, if a man presses his dismount, he does not get the dismount credit. Now, if you were in a hot seat of this competition, and there goes Andrew doing his dismount, what would you give him? Is that a valid dismount, or is that a press to handstand and therefore no credit? What do you think happens? Now, of course, regardless of what happened to the credit, no credit, the athlete still has to make a decision on to whether or not they repeat that dismount, and then take the risk. Should I try it a second time and make it better, or do I just take the hit and move on with life and go to the next event? Those are decisions you got to make on the spot, and you have 30 seconds to do so. Looks like they're still discussing it. Oh, look at that. As it turns out, I'm going to give it away. Spoiler alert, they did not give him credit for this. So if you answered press the handstand, that's what it was. He's going to repeat the dismount. Oh, much better, Kevin. That was definitely the right decision to get up there and do it like he knows how.
Absolutely the right call there. Absolutely. That was much, much better. It actually looked like he was going to try to upgrade it. Pretty good. You saw after he hit that handstand, he took that step back into the middle. If they full pirouette down, the horse actually values it up to an E-level dismount. And it looked like he was going to go for it, try to save that, and he knew he didn't have it, so he made the right choice to get over the horse and find that good clean dismount there. So great decision by the coaches and the athlete there. And Bruce, that's that's so hard to do, is jump up after you think you're done. And
yeah.
Go, oh man, I got to do that again. And
exactly. He already has half his grips on him for rings, and he had to go back and finish that pommel horse routine.
Yep.
But you know what? Absolutely, put it back together. He recompose himself, and indeed, in fact, I'm going to go out and say that was one of the best dismounts we saw on pommel horse today. How fluid that went up and clean, So definitely, if you want to see a good video of a pommel horse dismount, rewind right there to that time frame, and check out Andrew's dismount. Looks like it was a good example of a good set. Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna have one more exhibition from Jackson Harrison on pommel horse, getting himself a score here in front of the judges, performing in front of his brothers. Let's see. I think is Jackson going for an all-around? No, he just wants to show pommel horse.
Here we go. Jackson, a little leg bend on that McCulloch there. Scissor pull back to the middle. Like I said earlier, Jackson is an unusually tall athlete, but man, he makes it work for him. And it's just fun to watch this pommel horse swing. And I hope we get to see Jackson.
Come on.
Very nice Russian dismount. I hope we get to see him later on high bar, because Jackson, we do get to see him later on high bar, and that's going to be a fun one.
Hey, no spoilers now. This is a spoiler alert free zone, sir. Don't you dare.
All I'm saying is I'm hooking people. You got to stick around to high bar to watch that man's high bar set.
Right, that's fair enough.
It is beautiful.
Stay tuned.
So, stay tuned all the way through. You can't be leaving us early here. You got to stay all the way through that 6th event, because
the best part of this competition comes after the competition. So stay tuned. That's
all right. And
hey, looks like that was it on pommel horse. Look at that. We have ourselves a tally, and looks like between the 4 count scores for today, after 2 full rotations, we have Kansas City United with 83.3, putting up their first dual meet competition score ever. Here we go along the way. And Arizona State, after 2 rotations, with a huge 107.3 points. Now, a huge distance there in the scorings between these two teams. But then again, once again, experience counts, right? And these guys are coming in from multiple years of competitive experience in the college scene, and showing that has a huge impact as you grow as an athlete, as you grow as a human being in this sport and in life. They have the experiences to bring the best gymnastics forward. Not to mention the fact that they do continue to improve. One of the great arguments for providing opportunities for college gymnastics is that these guys do hit their peak late in their college careers. This is just a fact. Traditionally speaking, in the sport of men's gymnastics, in fact, I argue that every sport is the case, except for the ones who get burnt out early for various reasons. But in the sport of men's gymnastics, these guys have a development, both physically and mentally, and they don't hit their peak performances until their junior and senior year in college. So to see this KSU team come out here and face the big boys and doing their best and keeping their routines clean. I mean, I'm looking at these deduction values, around the 2-point margin, and that's a great thing. 1 or 2 of the heroes who maybe go off because of a couple of falls, but I'm really happy to see what's going on from these guys.
Yeah, and Breeze, you mentioned it earlier. A lot of the competitive success comes from just experience on the college scene. You know, these guys grow up all as a junior athlete competing for themselves a lot of the time, and now they don't matter. It's if you can't hit for your team, you got to take stuff out, you got to change your routines. It doesn't matter what you think you can do for yourself. It's all about what you can do for that team. And
team
they just
first, individual second. That is the motto.
Amen. And we just had the scoreboard flash here in Aspire Kids Sports Center.
Speaking of team, KSU team starting with Isaac on the rings for his brothers, Isaac Schultz.
Now let's see what Isaac's got for KCU here. But the ASU team has got a commanding lead, but we're only 2 events in. They could throw that away real quick if they're not careful.
Very true. Very true.
Nice fudge
Easy
there.
come, easy go.
That's it, and it's not over till it's over. In gymnastics, you just never know. Isaac's putting together a nice, clean routine here. Nice backup press, straddle.
Come on, Isaac.
Let's see. He's got to stay off those cables in this handstand. Not bad there. Good control down. Let's see what he's got for a dismount. Back full. It's a unique dismount from KCU.
I'm really appreciating the artistry of the gymnastics in this team. It's really bringing back some of my own training experiences where we did, we all trained those hard skills, but every now and again you see a video clip of someone doing some intriguing gymnastics that's no longer performed and you want to try it on your own. And I see some of these guys putting these skills in their routines, and I love it. I love it. I think it's great. I think it brings some fresh perspective to the sport, and it keeps us all enjoying the artistry of the sport. So I appreciate that. So thank you, Kansas City, for that.
Absolutely, and it's just good to see some of the artistry coming back. For a long time, gymnastics or men's gymnastics has all just been about how big can you go, how hard can you go. Well, they changed the rules up to where the artistry now counts.
Right, and the code of points allows for these a variety of elements. So the athletes will be presenting what they can do, work to their own strengths, right? And here we're going to go back to Camden Neiman on rings from ASU. Just as to finish my point is that the code of points does allow for different body types, for different experiences. Guys who start gymnastics late, there are options to put together routines that are competitive in the college scene, and these guys are showing that that's the case right here on the same platform. Ooh, a little short on that Hamna, struggling a little bit, but he's swinging still.
He covers it well there, Breeze. And as you see in those support positions, his arms are a little bent, and he's leaning against the straps. It's actually going to be a fairly large deduction there. The hardest thing on rings is just not letting your arms actually touch the straps of the rings or the cables there. He's got some swing going that he's got to manage. As you see him fighting down to that shoulder stand, coming home, big front dismount. All right, not too bad there. Just piked it down, some big steps, but overall, it's a great first routine from Camden for ASU. So I am seeing Isaac from KCU, their first routine up. Did end up losing 3.2 in deduction. So more than obviously we've been talking about. We're really looking for that 2.0 or less. So we'll see what his start value was, and I'll let you know that total as it comes in. As soon as the judges are ready.
Real live gymnastics. This is what's going on right here at the Virtual Stars Gymnastics and GymACT Live. We're bringing this gymnastics competition to you. This is the world premiere of Kansas City United coming to the big leagues over here with the college teams and competing against ASU, the oldest of the non-NCAA programs in our competitive spectrum. And between ASU and Washington, these teams have been doing their own thing. And what we mean by that is this: these teams are not funded by your university. They are affiliated perhaps with some of the schools, but they are not funded by the university in any way, shape, or form. All of the teams in GymACT are self-funded. So here it is, as Mr. Callan starts his ring routine. I'll finish the point of we have in our GymACT website, gymact.org, we have the donation button right there for us to help support these teams. So if you have it in you, if you have the ability or capability, please donate directly to the teams or to GymACT so we can continue progressing college gymnastics for these athletes to do the best they can when they are at their best.
Come on, Callan.
And here Callan showing what he's got. Giant to handstand, fights for it, gets ready for the dismount. Yeah, swing it like a minute, bud.
Yep,
and strong double back with as much control as he could.
Yeah, when you get that swing going, it is so hard to get it back under control, and he did a great job. He did a really great job of just handling the situation. The biggest thing on rings is I tell athletes all the time, you can't hit the panic button. When rings gets rowdy, if you hit that panic button, you're coming off or you're bailing the wrong time, and you're going to end up having no pressure on the rings for your dismount. You've got to stay calm and trust your training when you get that big swing going, and you just got to pay attention to what the ring rig's doing, what the rings are doing to keep it under control.
Yeah, indeed. It's the name still rings is what you're trying to make them, not what they are. They move each and every way away from you, and you have to use all your strength and composure to keep them in the right spot. And here goes Mr. Alex Skanke from ASU at the Aspire Gymnastics gym.
So let's see what Alex got. Very unique mount there, showing off his shoulder flexibility, just rolling right through to that pike basket. Being locates getting into nice
Pommel to an L. Good control.
Beautiful.
Pommel or a whip it. It's more fun to say because it sounds like what the skill does.
Absolutely.
There's the Johansson into the Yamawaki combination that's very common. If you can do one, might as well do two. Great dismount. One of those unusual dismounts. It sneaks up on you. He was swinging forward, so you might as well let go and twist.
Absolutely, and just a nice, good controlled. That's a C value dismount as we're talking about this. To get full credit, to receive as much points as possible, you have to complete a D value dismount. However, that's a C value dismount, but obviously he only had a small hop there on the landing, which is going to cost you, maybe 1/10. Whereas if he goes for the double full, which is the D variation of that dismount, he may not be able to make it. He may fall and lose a full point. So great routine construction there. Do what you can do and do it clean.
That's right. You take the risk eventually, but you got to be doing it in practice 9 out of 10 times if you can.
And the judges agreed with it. Alex Skanke only losing 1.7 on that ring routine.
That's
it's going to be a very nice
deduction score going on for him there. Noah Spencer from KCU on the rings.
Come on, Noah.
See what he's got here. He's got to bounce back just a little bit. KCU could use a good score here. Let's see what they've got.
Nice.
Kip to L. That is a very unique skill. That is very, very hard to do just because of how fast. Beautiful plan. Showing that turnout that we were talking about earlier, Breeze, where he's just not touching the cables of the rings at all. Very, very strong athlete, just showing it off. Some artistry in that backup right straddle, just keeping it clean. This is what they needed to do right here. As long as he can keep this together, this is going to be a real helpful score to KCU. Back 1.5. Nice controlled landing with a big hop. That's going to score very, very well. KCU needed that. That's huge from Noah.
That was a really good set, and KCU needs to be putting together those clean routines as often as possible. It's not a lot of depth in a team, and this is I here in Northern California can attest to what it's like when you have a small group where all the guys are stretching themselves to the highest level of their capacity, doing as many routines as possible. Sometimes even adding a routine or two that you're not super happy about, but you got to do it anyway because the team needs that number. So props to these guys for putting it all out in line and getting it all together, staying safe and sound. I'm glad to see that these routines are clean and that they're performing the skills that they are able to do. And fall here or there, but these guys are putting it all out there. I really appreciate this. The level of tenacity that this team is showing is exquisite.
Absolutely. And here we go. Hayden Goldstein mounting the rings for ASU. See what he's got.
His teammates there cheering on and reminding him as if he didn't know to make sure that you hold it for 2 seconds. Click 1, 2. 2-second hold is mandatory in every hold position.
There's that same Kip to L that we just saw from KCU, and I got to say, Noah from KCU did that quite a bit cleaner, so we'll see if the judges agree with us or not. Noah Spencer from KCU, that last ring routine we watched, only losing 1.6. That's going to be a huge score. Coming home with 11-6 final. It's the biggest score we've seen so far.
Nice. Beautiful. Giant to hands, nice and clean and controlled.
Big full-out dismount, small hop. Again, another C-value dismount, but when you can land them that clean, it works out really well for you. Alex Skanke from ASU came home with an 11.4, but Noah Spencer really, really brought it on rings with that 11.6, and KCU needed that. That's, like we said earlier, it's just not over till it's over.
That's
so
right.
we'll see what Hayden comes through. Beginning of that team was a little shaky, but that giant was very, very nice. Right to that handstand, good control, and then small hop on the dismount. The ASU team's got to be real happy about that.
Indeed, they should. I would like to. We are getting ready for the halftime of this competition, as we're still got a few more guys here on the rings, on a third rotation, and chugging right along. These judges are cranking these scores quickly, and it's showing right there on Virtual Stars Gymnastics, and all the system is running and working as we intended to. Knock on wood. And here comes from KCU, Mr. Chance Brogan on the rings.
And, see what he's got for us.
See what he's got, indeed.
Another front of prize to L. Again, a unique skill you just don't see very often. And KCU's ring lineup has a lot of potential in it for sure. See what he's got here. Yeah. Nice tucked Yamawaki. Did an extra unlocate there to make sure he had enough power to keep it clean. It was a smart decision on the athlete.
Man who likes to ski on his downtime, and I don't follow that. I don't like the snow myself, but anyone who can do skiing and gymnastics, props to you, brother. See if it helps him on rings, though.
Another good giant there. Had some bent arms, but locked the handstand out. Good giant through. Beautiful
half in, half out.
Yeah. Beautiful C-value dismount there with a small hop. Again, KCU is going to bring it back here in rings. You know, they're coming up to this halfway mark, and after Pommel's, it really looks like ASU is going to run away with it. And KCU said, "Not today, man!" And they're fighting back. This is going to be a great fight all the way through.
Yeah, these guys they didn't come out here just to be present. They actually are contestants, and you don't say anything about any athlete until the meet is over or any team. These guys are ready to show their best, and they are doing just that. So ASU needs to be on their best behavior, or they're gonna start giving away points where they don't want to.
Absolutely, and like we talked about earlier, we the scores are showing here at ASU, and some of those guys might have looked at that deficit and gone, "Got this." And man, when this score comes back up, it's going to be a lot closer than they want it to be. So it's going to be real interesting to see what they do on the back half. We do have some exhibitions. This is Nate Hutchinson taking rings for ASU. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, we're going to have 3 routines back-to-back from ASU for exhibition. These guys, they've been training, and they want to make sure that the judges, they get a chance to perform their routines in front of the judges, an impartial group of guys, not just their assistant coaches who get to look for their mistakes before they even perform them. So now they get to be, in front of a fair panel.
And Nate is taking advantage of that opportunity right there, starting that beautiful kip to Ellis plunge with full turnout, not touching the cables at all. Some great giant work. See if he can keep it going all the way through. Good strong L, taking a breather as he comes down to the end of the set. That full turnout on the press handstand, that was beautiful. One of the nicest presses I've seen in a very long time. Half in, half out with a small hop. That's going to be a big score. It is unfortunate that's not going to count for the team there, because that's going to be big. Great job by Nate there, taking advantage of the opportunity he was provided.
Yeah, anytime you get a chance to perform your routines in front of judges, that's it's a good time to show it there. These guys have been training and preparing for competitions, and sometimes you don't make the lineup, and but you want to find out what your scores are, and that's where that comes in. So I know that, especially because we have the judges here from all across the country. Really, we have judges from Colorado, from Oregon, and from I'm blanking out on the last one. I'm looking at Arizona. Wait a minute, I'm gonna have to look at my list. Colorado, Arizona, and Kansas, of course. My bad. So you get these guys from a variety of places, and they have been judging meets in different teams, and we get to the athletes get to get a fresh perspective on their routines, and that's always a welcome sight.
Absolutely. And let's see what Ryan's got here from ASU. Another exhibition set coming up. Again, that kip to L, it's become very, very popular. It's not something we've seen until very recently. Getting into his beautiful Yamawaki work there. Again, showing that turnout. Rings is all about just showing how strong you can be And Nate brings home a 12-5 on rings. That's a huge, huge score. It's a bummer it doesn't count for the team there.
And then to show why we're commentators and not judges at this point is that we can't count to 4. Nate was the 4th man up for ASU.
Oh, he was. Wow, that is that's going to keep ASU alive there.
That
a great
makes a huge difference now, doesn't it?
A great exhibition set from Ryan there. So, wow, that's going to make a big difference in ASU lineup. But as Bree said, we're just gymnastics geeks. Well, I'm going to let the judges do their thing. I'm just going to sit here and talk about the great gymnastics going on. Ryan putting down a great set, starting at a 13.3 there with a 1.8 in deduction. Very nice and clean. And then again, another one I've been a big fan of all day long, Jackson Harrison. I'm really excited to see what he's got on rings as, these taller athletes, the leverage and basic physics, man, rings can get real hard, real fast, but he's a very, very strong, very, very artful gymnast here. So I'm excited to see what he can put down.
And it seems like we're going to go back to Jackson on rings. He's ready to go, and I think the judges are too.
Yep. So here we go. As you can see, look at the difference between him and his coach behind him. Coach Brian is a very, very average size athlete, and Jackson is just, he's very, very tall. And I talk about it a lot just because a lot of people think it's a disadvantage, but man, oh man, Jackson has found a way to make it an advantage for him for sure. Beautiful swing work. Here we go. Very difficult back upright straight to that handstand. Little rough, but then not hitting that panic button like we talked about earlier and just keeping it under control.
Showing that experience counts again right there where he's calm and collected, making sure that he bails at the right side of the swing each time.
Good Yamawaki work there. A little loose in the knees, but not bad at all. And you see that
every time he goes from below the rings to above the rings and vice versa, he takes care to make sure that the timing is correct. The front upright to L, always a favorite of mine. Well executed. There goes Jackson with a layout full.
Very nice C-value dismount. That's going to be a nice score from Jackson. He's out here. He's competed last weekend or 2 weekends ago for the gold lineup of this team, and then he's in here today competing just to help keep moving the standings up on roadtonationals.com. And and just a quick score update. Kansas City United is at a 126.3, so they did a lot of work there.
Hey, here's what I'm going to do now. We're going to go to a little halftime show, if you will, and I'm going to bring the head coach for Kansas City United, Mr. Mike Thomas. Mike, are you there with me? Oh, we need to make sure that he's on the air channel, so I'm going to put him on that. So that's okay. We'll wait a second or so. Mike, are we here? I'll move him over. Hey, Mike, are you there?
And you're going to be on camera too. This is Mike Cook. I'm here.
Wrong one. Yeah, why don't I do the correct one? So let me do the right thing. We're going to go with KSU Steve Rep. That one might be the one. Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. We got the technology working, and this is refreshing. First of all, thank you for having us in your humble home there in Kansas, and and congratulations to your first competition ever, dual meet, virtual or not.
Well, let me say something. We could not do this without you. You have spent hours getting us prepared for this, and we've been a nervous wreck. I'm glad that it's working. It is working, right?
It is working indeed, and I am thrilled and honored that we are able to make things happen across the country between two teams, and you guys have been so gracious and sending me just the right questions and working really hard to make sure that you had all the technology in place so that we can focus on what's really important, and that's the gymnastics. Now, tell me a little bit about this team, man. First time ever, right out of the gate, these guys are kicking butt. They're presenting some amazing gymnastics first half of the meet. I'm impressed. What do you have to say about you guys?
Well, everybody's really nervous. I think the second half of the meet is going to be a lot of fun for them because now they can see what it is and they realize that they just have to hit their routines, and hopefully we'll have some stuck landings in this second half. So no, it's going good.
Now, you've been around the sport of gymnastics for a little while, as much as me and then some. And, these guys were the big kids on campus just a year ago. They were high school seniors, and they were all that jazz. And now they're here competing against, the big leagues in a college scenario, and with some guys from ASU with a lot of experience and a lot of beautiful gymnastics to show. Are they obviously that must play a part on what's going on with their shaky nerves right now?
We would rather not start with the national champions. Arizona State is
they
like
only won national championships 22 times. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. We'd like to start out a little bit smaller than that. But you know what? Arizona State has done so much for the GymACT program, and it's like everybody looks at them as to what we might be able to produce ourselves. So I'm glad we're going up against Arizona State. And Scott Barclay, the coach there, has been so helpful to us.
As he has been a mentor to so many of us as well. So thank you, Scott Barclay, for helping us out. Mike, listen, I don't want to keep you long because the judges are ready, and I'm sure your guys are chomping at the bit there to show what they got on the second half of the competition. Congratulations on the first half, and good luck on the second.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for all you do. Bye.
You're welcome. There was Mr. Mike Thomas, and you saw Steve Glickley right there walking by as well, the other coach for the KSU team. It's exciting to see these guys all working hard, putting it all together, making it happen, making sure that college gymnastics is going on in their section of the country. They're the only team around at the moment in that section of the country. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are an athlete somewhere in that area and you're looking for a college program, you're seeing it here. These guys are working hard. They are putting it all where it belongs. And they are competing against the current national champion team, Arizona State. Not only the current, but they have been national champions, and that was not an exaggeration. I believe 22 times in a running. So who's going to challenge them this year? Your guess is as good as mine. There are some strong teams coming down the pike, and these teams are getting better and better. There's more of them, and there's more athletes too. So what a great time to be alive in the world of college gymnastics, men's college gymnastics growing as is intended. So here we go. We are going for the second half of the meet. Starting on the vaulting rotation, we have from KCU, Mr. Braden Jevney. He's going to be followed by Hayden Goldstein from ASU. And let's go quick look at the current team scores. And looks like that margin is actually closing little by little here. So KCU putting it down. We have KCU with 126.3 points after 3 rotations, and ASU still edging up here at 139.9. It is exciting gymnastics from both of these teams, regardless of the number results. And we are ready to go. Kevin, are you there with me? Let's go on vault with Braden Jevney.
I'm excited. While you were talking to Coach there from KCU, I was watching the vault lineup behind him, and I think this is going to be a good battle right here. Very, very nice. Kazamatsu with a small step. That's going to come out strong from Braden. And I think, I think Coach Mike was right. I think that we saw a lot of nerves from KCU in the beginning of this meet, but, we saw it on rings. They're hungry and they're ready to fight back. So these last 3 events, Pommel horse obviously was kind of their downfall a little bit there, but that's just men's gymnastics right now. Pommel horse makes
just Pommel horse.
That's 100% just Pommel horse. So let's see. We're getting ready with Hayden Goldstein coming in hot from ASU, and right now I think Brendan's got a big score to start there, only losing 9 10-slap vault, bringing home a 13-1 from KCU. Let's see if Hayden can keep up with him, because vault is very much going to be head-to-head to see who can pull ahead as we head into the second half. And here we go. Spoiler alert, I can see Hayden here.
Yeah, vault is quick and dirty. You got to run, you got to jump, you got to stick. Let's go with Hayden Goldstein. Oh, very nice. You saw the same vault that we saw a little earlier from Braden. That was Hayden Goldstein with a laid out Kazamatsu. A Kazamatsu is when you do a round off onto the table and then you flip with a straight body position and you add a full twist. That can be called one of 2 things, either a Sukaharu with a full twist, or it can be called a Kazamatsu. Those are 2 different athletes. They created those vaults, and we use those names pretty much interchangeably. And there's some arguments as to if you twist one direction versus the other, that's what you call it. But they're worth the same. Whether you twist one way or the other, doesn't matter. And that was definitely a laid out position. Beautifully performed by Hayden Goldstein.
Absolutely.
Moving on to Isaac Schultz.
You saw Hayden drop those hands down to his pockets. That's what the judges want to see. He brings home a 13-3, so it's a tight fight. Ooh, big souk there from Isaac.
There goes Isaac Schultz from KCU performing a tuck Sukahara. A little short on his landings. That's going to sting a little the ankles. The good thing he's landing on a soft surface there. Now, here's the thing about these virtual competitions. Again, these guys are competing in the gyms where they train. And if you saw there for KCU, the landing surface is not FIG approved. It's not the international standard of a hard surface with the mats that are supposed to be 30 centimeters high. It's the best that we can do with the tools that we have, and that's exactly how we're putting things together this year. We're just making sure that we have the chance to provide the opportunities for competition as cleanly and as safely and as fairly as possible. So here we are back to the ASU at Aspire Kids Sports Center in Arizona. This is Nate Hutchinson.
Another nice, beautiful laid out cause with a small hop. That's going to be a nice score yet again.
Very nice. Yes, Nate has a nice composure there on his vault, nice and calm, a small hop on the landing, but showed that he had nice height and preparation for landing. Another thing that the judges look for is not only did you stick the landing, but what did you do to get to your feet? If you had to make your body scramble and tuck and do ugly things to get your feet on the ground underneath you, that actually is a deduction. So we want to make sure that these guys are landing clean with their torso upright and their knees slightly bent, firmly planted on the ground. And then if you hop after that, at least you didn't get deductions for the preparation for landing or lack thereof. This is Noah Spencer from KCU.
See what he's got here from KCU. They need a big vault. Another nice cause. Yes, that's going to be huge for KCU. Isaac Schultz obviously kind of put his hands down there. It's going to be a smaller score that they're hoping not to have to count on. And Noah Spencer stepped back up for his brothers and brought home a great Kazamatsu. Nate Hutchinson, the last guy up from ASU, brings home a 13-2. So we'll see if Noah Spencer can step that up. And then next up from ASU is going to be Alex Skanke. I know he's got a lot of power on vault, but has struggled with his landings just a little bit this season. So we're going to see what he can put together. Noah Spencer from KCU bringing home a 13-1, keeping KCU in this fight here.
Yeah, a couple of big scores from KCU on vault. They're doing well and staying on fight.
Here comes Alex Skanke coming in hot for ASU. Let's see what he's got. He needs a big vault to keep him alive. And here he is. Cause full with a tiny hop. Man, we are just seeing cause after cause after cause. KCU's
that is a good quality vault right there. Yes, Kazamatsu is usually the first big vault that these guys are performing, and trying to build their repertoire into bigger and more risky vaults. And the usually ballpark figure, you can guess that for every half turn that you add to your vault, you go up by about 4/10 in difficulty. But then if you're putting yourself at that risk of a blind landing or doing too many twists and not enough flip, then you land on your behind, and that's no good. So you gotta play the rules. You gotta play to your strengths. So it looks like these guys are playing it to doing exactly what they can and doing it well. Moving on with Callan Cacioppo from KCU on the vault.
Let's see what he's got for us. Another nice cause, a little bit of a tuck, but really clean landing there. So it'll be really
what we're talking about, having to bend his knees to make sure he gets his feet underneath him. But I think he gets credit for a layout Kazamatsu there.
So that's another one. If you're on YouTube with us, come join in on that conversation. Was that tucked or was that straight? Where the judge is going to give him straight credit and then take the tuck in the knees, or are they going to give him a tuck credit? And spoiler alert, I can answer you what the judges did, but I'm curious to see if any of our viewers have an opinion. They did give him the layout credit. And brings home a beautiful Alex Skanke from ASU came home with a 13-3, and Callan comes home with a 13-0. KCU has just answered everything from ASU.
Well, to make it fair to the audience members watching at home or on YouTube or wherever you are, the criteria is the 45-degree angle. If you bend your knees more than 45 degrees, you go from straight to tuck. If you bend your hips more than 45 degrees, you go from straight to pike. That's what you got to look for. Check out this vault. What was that? Straight, pike, layout, tuck. That was gorgeous.
Yurchenko back 1.5 to a nice clean stick from Jackson Harrison. Again, he just has so much artistry and he is so powerful. That's a huge vault for ASU. Wow. Very, very nice. Very curious. I've got my eyes glued to the scoreboard. I want to know if the judges think it was as nice as I do.
Yes.
That was a Yurchenko 1.5 twist performed about as cleanly as you can. I mean, Jackson just bringing it again, showing the beautiful lines, showing that he's got the poise, showing that he's got the power, and staying right between the lines. Let's talk a little bit about that. You see those white lines on the floor, on the mat? Those are the angle deviation deduction lines. So, the athletes, if they go around the side of the table and propel themselves off to the side a little bit, they land with 1 foot outside the line is 1/10 deduction, 2 feet is 3/10 deduction. So those lines are a guide for the judges to use, not only for the landing and the deviation of the actual skill, but it also tells you a little bit about the angle of rotation in the air. Usually if a guy is rotating off axis and he lands smack in the middle, but takes a huge step out to the side, that is one more visual cue for the judges to go, oh yes, he did deviate from the angle of rotation on his flip, which is also a deduction. These guys are expected to go perfectly in a straight line on the same plane that they are running. They're expected to land with their torso upright on the landings. They're expected to land within the lines. So all of these are the signs of a perfect vault. And the judges have their work cut out to them. It happens real quick. And you saw it right there. What happens if the camera glitches for a few frames? Do you go back and watch the video, or can you make a judgment call on what you saw? Obviously, these judges felt comfortable enough to go, hey, that was a beautiful Yurchenko 1.5. It's a 14.4 start value, and we got the deductions, which were very minimal. Indeed, that was a gorgeous vault from Jackson. Congratulations. Oh, right there, case in point. He landed in the middle, but bounced off to the side. So you can tell that in the air, his angle of rotation was slightly off.
Yep.
Saved by the ball.
And Chance needed to bring home a big score to answer Jackson Harrison. And I'm sorry, Chance is a exhibition from KCU, but Jackson Harrison comes home with a 14.0. So we've talked about trying to hit under 2 points. Now on vault, I would say anything under a point, you're doing well. And man, Jackson stepped up to that and said, I'm here. Comes home with only 4/10 in deduction on that, which is huge. And we do have one more vault from ASU. This is Brett Balzer from ASU exhibitioning, and I happen to know that he just put together a new vault, and I'm very curious to see if we see his new vault here. I was in where he was training the other day, and he learned a Driggs, which is a Sukahara with 2 twists, or a Kazumatsu with 1. So he's going to do that round F entry vault and then have 2 twists and 1 flip. But I don't know if he's put it on a competition surface here. So I'm very, very anxious to find out which vault we're about to see from Mr. Brett here. He's just waiting for the go-ahead from the judges.
And I believe the judges are ready. So the suspense will end soon enough. Will he do the safe and sound vault for a clean landing, or will he attempt for the first time in competition his new skill? Let's check it out.
We're going to find out right here. He's coming in hot. Big double
twist
with a
double
small hop.
Beautifully done.
Wow.
Brett Balzer throws it down on a Sukahara with 2 twists laid out position. That should have been in the team score. Man, that was a huge vault.
That absolutely should have replaced somebody on the team score. That is a big, big vault. That comes out from a 14.8 start value. And I don't know if you could see it from the camera. He was just slightly on the line with his right foot. But that tiny little hop, he's got 2/10 on that landing. That's it from a big, big vault. I'm really curious. I happen to be able to see the execution here, and he, so far, as long as they don't go back, the judges sometimes they go back and debate what they think they saw. But right now, he only lost 0.6 on that vault. That's a huge, huge score. And like you said, Breeze, I think he just earned his spot on a vault lineup for future competitions. 100%.
Oh, man. And that's the thing, too. I mean, ASU team, and this is something that we haven't mentioned yet, but these guys have upwards of 40 or some odd guys in their team. Now, you're only allowed to compete 15 on the roster at any one competition. So these guys are chomping at the bit to get their chance to compete and to make that lineup for their team. And as you've seen today, these guys are, they're fighting for every single 10th, every single landing, because not only are they trying to score well for their team today, they're also trying to maintain or earn their spot for the next competition. The season is coming to a close here this year. We still have a few more weeks left, before national championships, which actually happen in tandem with the junior national championships in Florida on the second weekend of May. So put that on your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. We will definitely be broadcasting that competition. And these guys from ASU, they got a lot of brothers to fight with for the spot on their team. and it's a tough competitive spot for them out there. So yeah, they have a long history and a successful program, but these guys are putting it all out there to show their coaches and to show the judges that they deserve to be on that 15-man spot. And it's and again, they fight with one another, and that's the beautiful thing about this team. I always appreciate seeing the camaraderie and how they work together on and off the gym floor. They're always helping each other out, always growing together. They're setting up equipment. One of the most beautiful things I've seen, and this is a little anecdote about the character that Scott has been building for so many years with this team, is that they go to competitions and in their when to the visiting teams, and I happen to know on good account that after the competition at Washington just a few weeks ago, these guys travel, they compete, they are ready to go home and tired, but they stayed at the gym helping with the striking of the equipment. They didn't have to do that, but they do it. Why do they do it? Because they love the sport. They love gymnastics. They love they respect the space that they are in. They respect each other. They respect the team, and they respect their competitors. And that is just an incredible thing that this team has been building for now 3 decades plus. And huge props to Coach Scott Barkley on building this community around himself and helping us pass on this sentiment to the new teams that are coming up. We just heard back there from Coach Mike Thomas from KCU, brand new team, and following the steps and the some of the mentorship that Scott and these more the teams that have a little bit more maturity, that have been around the block a couple of times, and avoiding some of the pitfalls of the along the way, and building the sport the right way with strong human values. And that's exactly what we want from every one of these guys.
And Breeze, I think it's important to mention that's how ASU receives their funding, is they set up and tear down junior meets all over the state of Arizona. But we're going to go ahead and get back to gymnastics here as Isaac Schultz. Let's see what he's got from KCU. KCU brought a good fight on vault. They got to keep this fight going all the way through P-bars. A couple empty swings here, but overall looking real strong. I apologize. I believe this is still a warm-up. This has got to still be a warm-up, Breeze. I apologize for that. That's I thought I saw him salute before I went.
We'll check in on that. Yeah, we're still warming up. Thank goodness. I was like, wait a minute. So Isaac is, he's doing some clean skills, but he doesn't look like he's throwing them out, throwing it as hard as possible. So yes, that is still warm up going on. And so if you're watching with us and keeping an eye on things, that's where we are. So let's talk more about me. It turns out things are good here in Santa Cruz. It's sunny and it's beautiful. And I hope that each and every one of you out there is having a gorgeous day and that your life is full of sunlight and enjoyment. Please stay safe, be well, and take care of one another out there. And now we are ready to go to Isaac. And as I now do recognize him on my screen, this is Isaac Schultz from Kansas City United, starting on the parallel bars.
Yep, and like we talked about earlier, it was a tough fight through vault. And ASU just had one or two more bigger start values. So KCU is going to have to fight all the way through, and it's not over till it's over. So let's see if Isaac can hit some good clean P-bars here. And he's starting off strong for KCU. Very nice peach element there. Little bend there on the press handstand, but overall starting off very strong, very clean. And that's what KCU has shown all day long. They're out here to hit just good clean gymnastics. Back layout half, only a B value dismount, but done very well. So I think that's going to start. Isaac tends to be at the top of their lineup, and he goes out and gets that hit and gets that team energy going to make sure that the team can hit all the way through.
That's right. That first routine is so crucial in this sport. In this team atmosphere, we want to make sure that we start with something that's a strong hit, a routine that's clean, so that sets the tone for the whole rest of the team in that event.
Yeah.
Moving right along to Blake Tingson from ASU. This is the first time we see Blake today. See what he's got.
Yep, and Blake comes to us from Oak Park, California, so not too far from home, and came from Gymnastics Olympica USA, which, again, another powerhouse here in Region 1, and he's showing that off as he's taking the bars here. Nice clean Diamond-off, a little arched, but stayed calm and got his second hand back on the bars, keeping it safe.
Solid hand placements, confident.
Very interesting dismount.
There was a puck layout tuck. I'm not sure what that was, but we'll see how the judges deal with that. Now, if he does do a tuck dismount, that is a huge hit to his routine because it's not technically a FIG affiliated skill. It's not in the code of points as an accepted dismount. He's going to have to do either a pike or a layout for that dismount to count. So,
right.
Sometimes we give him the benefit of the doubt. If I were judging that, I would have given him a. I'm not going to tell you. Folks at home, what do you think? Layout, tuck, pike, what was that? Does he get credit for a dismount or nothing at all? How harsh are you? Are you a good judge? Are you a dream killer? What's going on in your neck of the woods?
Well, that's a very interesting choice there. I'm wondering if he has some kind of injury that kept him from completing his dismount there, because you just don't see that, like you said. But Noah Spencer coming up from KCU, and we talked about Isaac Schultz, and come out of the gate strong and brings home an 11-2. That's going to really, really help, especially as Blake just received an 11-4. So KCU is fighting strong here, but we're at the top of the lineup, so we'll see what happens as we get into the depth here. Noah, good clean lines there. Good double tuck with a small hop. That's going to be a great score for Noah. KCU really needed that. Awesome job from Noah.
That's right. And here's the thing about about competition in general is that what you perform is what the judges will be scoring, right? It doesn't matter what you were planning to do, and these guys are doing the best gymnastics that they can. But sometimes maybe that was supposed to be a double back, and his arms just felt a little weak or shaky or buckly, and you just do what you do, and then you live with the consequences. Now, if that in the real time of gymnastics competitions, you have the choice of, if that routine did not get a dismount credit, he might have gotten up and done a different one. But let's see Jackson, see what he plans to do and see what he actually performs. Putting it down, Jackson.
Another just super powerful, super clean, artistic gymnast. Let's see who's got. Beautiful kip to L there. Just getting up into that support so we can get into the more difficult sides of his routine here. Beautiful press. We've been talking about it all day. Jackson is just such a powerhouse and he's always so clean. Beautiful front toss. The back studs. You don't see that combination ever. Bringing that artistry back as KCU has been showing all day. Nice double pike to a Sun Devil stuck dismount from Jackson. That's going to score huge for the Devils.
Great job indeed. That was a nice, clean routine. This is the thing about when you have a taller athlete, it seems like everything is going on in slow motion, and it just happens that Jackson is showing some elegant lines and it keeps it beautiful and elegant. But it also gives the judges more time to see every little mistake. So every little bend of the knees, every little hop of the hands, it becomes more clear. If you have a shorter, faster athlete, he just busts right through those skills. And, with a little luck, maybe the judges didn't see it.
Yeah, and so far, everyone's under that 2-point execution. Noah Spencer, last guy up from KCU, brought home an 11-2. Jackson coming home with a 12.2. The judges really like that.
And a stuck landing.
And a stuck. You can't be mad about that. Let's see what Kaylin has coming from KCU here. Starting off strong. Just nice, good, clean gymnastics that KCU's been bringing all day long. Nice,
showing those held positions. It's got to be held for 2 seconds if he wants to get credit for the skill and avoid a 3/10 deduction. Holding it with patience. Well done. Layout half. Well presented.
Very, very well presented. There's a lot of potential in that V-bar routine. I have a sneaking suspicion over the next year or two, we're going to see a lot of difficulty coming from him. When you see a guy swinging a routine that clean and that basic, you just know that in the next couple of years, as their team grows and he gets a little bit more experience under his belt, he's going to bring home, he's going to be something that's going to be dangerous by the time he's a senior. I would remember him for sure. And only losing 1.1 on that routine. Very, very clean from KCU, and that's just what they need to be doing right now. Coach Mike said at halftime they were a little nervous about coming out against ASU, who's kind of set the standard for GymACT for so long. But they have a great training plan. Coach Mike's doing a great job, and Coach Steve out there are doing such a great job of leading this team. And I'm going to go ahead and shut up and lead us to Andrew Fincher from ASU. Let's see what he's got for us. Again, looking for those nice clean.
Right over the uprights is always a little tricky because you get no bounce in the bars at all. Solid metal steel right there underneath them.
Nice, clean body lines from him. And Breeze, you said it earlier, that's what the judges are looking for. When you hit that handstand, it's got to be locked and held. Same thing with that L hold. You've got to show that correct body position. No wiggles, no waving.
An L hold is not a resting position. It is hard to do properly and for 2 long seconds. 1.5 dismount forward. That is a difficult dismount to do.
And he did it so well at front uprise in. I was really curious to see what dismount we were going to see from him. And man, he did not disappoint. That's a big, big dismount. And looking back at Kalen from KCU, he brings home a huge 11.9 for KCU. They needed that to answer Jackson's 12.2. You know, KCU has consistently been just under ASU, but man, you look at the difference between Jackson and Kalen, only 0.3. That's nothing. Mm-hmm. That's a step. And Andrew just gave away 0.3 on that step on the dismount. Now I do see Andrew's execution score come in. He only lost a point on that routine, and man, that is going to separate him out so well. And so we will keep you updated on that score as it comes through. But this is going to be Chance from KCU. He's got to answer a really, really nice score from Andrew.
Let's see which door he goes through.
A drop cast to support, another very unique skill. KCU is bringing it up. I love it. Good Moy support there.
Nice clean Moy. Holding the handstands, showing patience. These guys suddenly look like a whole brand new team here. This event for them is so confident. I'm really appreciating this going on.
Yep, and Coach Mike said it at halftime. He goes, the second half is going to go much better for us, and they did not disappoint. Andrew Fincher from ASU did bring home a huge 12.8 on that P-bar routine. Nice layout.
And a stuck landing. Boom. You get it down on the ground. Don't move your feet. Stick your landings, following up a beautiful stretched out layout in a half turn. And, you know, what a great routine. Chance in KCU bringing home another beautiful parallel bar set. These guys are keeping their deductions down to a minimum, exactly like we talked earlier in the meet. And, you know, performing those, 7 to 10 skills in the routine as clean as possible. Great job, KCU, on parallel bars.
Yep, and another guy, Chance, you see, I think KCU is going to become very dangerous on parallel bars in the GymACT circuit very, very soon. Unfortunately, it does lose 2.7 on that. Just had lots of just little mistakes, tiny little defense, tiny little feet apart. But overall, very, very nice set. I'll let you know that score that comes in.
Hey, a full lineup of freshmen. Keep an eye on these boys.
Absolutely. And Chance is going to be the drop score from parallel bars. Comes home with just 10.7 there. The judges just want to see it a little cleaner. But this is going to be Hunter from ASU. Let's see what he's got. Beautiful giant work there. Haven't seen that all day today. Nice handstand shape. Let's see what he's got. He comes into his support section of his routine. Another beautiful Diamondov. A little bit of an arch there, but like Breeze, you were talking about earlier, just want to see the command over the handstand shape and not hitting that panic button. You know, he said, I got wiggly there. He took his second, found his handstand shape, found his hold. And see if Hunter can keep this going all the way through his dismount. Little short hold there. Big front uprise, big front dismount coming.
Wow.
And holds the stick.
That is a double full one flip with 2 twists, a stuck landing. That is a D-level dismount. And I am putting my green flag up. That was a stuck landing, beautifully executed. My gosh, Hunter Brunette from ASU with a huge dismount following a really nice presentation on the full routine. Great job there, Hunter.
I do apologize. I thought that was only a front full. That was so well executed.
And that was the 4th man up for ASU, so these scores will count for the team. Hunter right there with a 1.3 deduction, keeping it under those 2 points like we keep talking about. A great performance by Hunter on the parallel bars.
Yep, and then we do have 2 more exhibition routines coming from ASU on P-bars. Hunter, you saw just finish up there, finishes with a really strong 12.4. So, man, KCU was in this fight until just those last couple of guys. And Breeze, you talked about it earlier. When you only have 5 guys on your entire team, that means everybody's got to jump up and do every event. And that is just so hard to put together a competitive team score. And KCU is doing such a great job with that, getting out there, fighting hard. But, you know, ASU just has the depth. If one guy falls, they can bring up 7 more to take a spot. So considering that, KCU is fighting hard in this, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with here in the next season or 2 for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the season ain't over yet, so don't count them out. And here's KCU presenting some great gymnastics. Moving along to ASU as an exhibition presenting Caden Di Girolamo.
See what he's got. Right up to that nice handstand shape. No wiggles, no bobbles. That's exactly what they want to see.
Oh, clean.
Oh, good save there. Little buckle out of that front toss. I thought he was coming down. He just took that second to find
I'm getting a flashback from the 10-10 competitions where they had to do 10 presses and 10 handstand push-ups just now.
Beautiful handstand shape. Very strong athlete on this event. It's coming through. Feeling we're going to see a nice dismount here any second. Little bobble. Coming through that dismount. Beautiful double pike.
Nice.
Small 310 step. Very, very nice from Caden.
You can tell right from the get-go that Caden had a lot of power on the bars, really knows how to use the bounce of the bars and technique to get his swing to pop off the bars, and that's what you need for that double pike. Double pike is an extremely difficult dismount. It is. It's been a long time as the standard elite dismount, where some guys nowadays are going with the double fronts and double fronts with a half for a little bit more difficulty, but a double pike, a D dismount, is pretty much still the standard where the majority of athletes are out there trying to get that full element group and working hard for the stuck landing. Great job, Caden. And we're going to have one more athlete from ASU on parallel bars, Hayden Goldstein, performing to show the judges what he's got.
Yeah, and Breeze, you said it earlier, and I personally don't feel like enough athletes or coaches really use the equipment. You know, those bars are made out of fiberglass, so they're gonna bend, and then as soon as they bend, they want to pop back. They're kind of spring-loaded in the way they're built, all the way down through the base of the equipment, and that's something that if the athlete can figure that out and use that to their advantage, it just makes their very, very hard job just a little easier, and it can allow them to be a little bit more fresh coming into those harder dismounts.
There's definitely a change in technique that you want to use to be able to bottom that swing as much as possible and have it pop on the other side. And that is another one of those things that come with experience. And also because these athletes, once again, another shout out to the college programs is that once you get to college and you're finally done with those growing years, then you can actually use the body that you have in the long term. All their careers throughout high school. Oh, and a beautiful pelt there performed by Hayden. You can see that he knows how to use the swings. He's a man who's come into his body and he's done growing and he's done experimenting with the technique that was working while his body was still changing. Now he's got it, fully grown, fully mastering all his gymnastics and showing the best skills that he now gets to train long term instead of having to relearn the skill every few months because he just grew another 3 inches.
Yeah, and that's a huge part of the sport. Big double touch.
Nice and high on the double back.
Thought he had the stick there and just took
it up a little too fast.
And, as you're talking there, Breeze, we watched Hayden. He's definitely one of those guys that you can tell he's very, very strong and he uses his strength to get through. But unfortunately, when you use your strength to get through the skills rather than the technique and the swing and the bounce of the bars and all that, it's very, very difficult to keep it really, really clean. So he did a good job fighting all the way through that set. But definitely has a little bit of cleaning to go there before he's going to earn a spot there on this Sun Devil parallel bar team that just has so much depth to it.
Yes, indeed. And, and there we are with the completion of 5 events. This is rolling along beautifully here today. This is GymACT Live dual competition between Kansas City United, a brand new team this year in the GymACT circuit. And they're coming out of the gate facing the current national champions, ASU, Arizona State. And they're doing a phenomenal job here. They're fighting for every routine, every 10th, and in a 4-man up 4-count setup, meaning that every routine counts for every score. We have Kansas City United after 5 events with 220.4 points, and with the 4-man count, Arizona State is up ahead with a 242.5. And also showing some maturity in their routines, that Arizona State there with 3 stuck landings, bonus point landings, that is. I mean, a lot of guys are sticking the landings on the dismounts, but to get that bonus point, it has to be a full element group dismount. And ASU's got 3 of those under their belt for this competition already with 1 event to go. What a great competition, Kevin. I'm stoked about what's going on here from both of these teams across the country from one another and showing some amazing gymnastics.
Breeze, we're talking about the score, and we're looking at a 20-point deficit, which sounds so much, but if you actually go through and you look at floor, Kansas City was, just over 3 points away. Pommelhurst is where the big deficit happened. They were almost 7 points behind there. But then Rings, they dialed it back into only a 3-point. Vault, there was only a little over a 3-point deficit there. Parallel bars, they fought back hard. There was let's see, we're at a 3.8 deficit there. And honestly, that's not that big. That means every guy's got to come up with 5/10. And they're very, very much in this fight. And I'm watching on my side screen here, KCU, man, we can't count them out because their high bar, if they stay on, from what I've seen in warm up, it's going to be a good fight all the way through to the end.
There's some impressive things going on.
ASU's got some bigger skills, but like we've been talking about all day, the big skills are a risk. If you're doing release moves that miss the bar, you got to repeat them. You miss twice, that's 2 points off. And if you don't do it again, you don't have that credit for doing that skill. So I think it's going to come down to who can stay on the bar today. Because watching warm-ups here, I think we got a pretty equally skill level team here. So I think we're going to have a really exciting finish to this meet. And I just cannot believe how incredibly strong KCU's coming out with 5 freshmen, and only 5. This is their first real college meet, in a live environment, and it's virtual. It's just such a unique experience, and they're out here fighting so incredibly strong, Breeze. I can't wait to see how this team develops over the rest of the season, let alone the next couple of years as they pick up some steam. I think ASU should be a little nervous. They've been top dog for a long time, and I think they got some people looking to take them down, and that's just going to make the whole GymACT program that much better. So we're just waiting for the all clear from the judges here, and it looks like everybody's done with their warm up. As Breeze mentioned, I've got my Zoom up here, and we've got 13, 14 people on just the Zoom call making this whole meet happen, and we're making sure that everything's flowing well. And I just can't thank all of you enough for logging in and jumping on. And I'm just so honored to be a part of the future of men's college gymnastics.
Yes, indeed. And here's what's going on now is that we have a little bit of a glitch going on the judges side of things. So I'm going to take over and hijack this transmission and toot our own horn for the GymACT world. So first of all, I want to say GymACT is a labor of love on so many accounts. We have so many people to thank and so many people to talk about that I'm just going to quickly address a few things. Number one, this community is a huge community of supporters. GymACT has the teams that are part of this environment, and you see on our website, if you go to gymact.org, the teams that are here. We have Arizona State, we got Georgia United, we got Kansas City, the 2 brand new teams this year. We got New York Alliance, part of our founding members, Northern California, my home state and team. Thank you, go Condors. We got Northern Illinois University. We got Rocky Mountain Pride. We got Southern California United, Temple University competing this year under the banner of the Owls, keeping things fresh. We got Gymnastics at UIC, another one of the teams just like Temple and Washington and so many others who have dropped from the NCAA varsity programs. These guys come joining us, and now as a self-funded, unrelated to the university teams, and these guys are just doing it all on their own time and dime. And we have, of course, Washington Men's Gymnastics, another powerhouse of gymnastics in the college scene. And these guys, girls, families, members, supporters, everyone working so hard to keep the sport of gymnastics alive. And we're actually growing every year. We started GymACT a few years ago, just 3 years ago, with 5 teams, and we have now grown to all 11 teams. We got at least 2 or 3 more that are coming down the pike for next year. Some brand new teams. We got a couple of teams who may be joining us from the NCAA circuit, having been dropped from the varsity programs, as you may or may not have seen some of the news. So I'm not going to give any spoilers until it's a for sure thing, but that's what's happening. GymACT is a home to these teams that are, that have no other place to go. And we are here providing for them. And just so that, we have one more thing here to let you guys know is that, it's a community. Last year, we did some fundraisers for our our beloved ones. You know, we had two huge fundraising initiatives that we did last year. One was the Save Gymnastics fundraising initiative, and this fundraiser was a beautiful thing. As soon as we had word that that some of the teams were struggling to find places to train, gyms were closing all across the country because of COVID. They couldn't keep their doors open, so we raised the horns and we went out to the community and said, listen, why don't we raise some money for the teams that support GymACT programs? And what we did is we reached out to the community and we raised over $7,000, and this money was divvied up between every gym in the country that supports GymACT as either a training facility or having produced an athlete that is currently competing at a GymACT program. So every team, every program, every gym in the country that supports us, and you see here, I'll pull the screen down a little further so you can see them down, but you see these gyms right here. Every one of these gyms, we're able to contribute back to them and say, hey, this is a token of our appreciation. This is how we can send to, a nod, a financial drop in the bucket for your financial difficulties for this year. But we are raising money from the community and sending it back to you. So that's what we're doing here at GymACT. We're raising opportunities for athletes in college. We are giving back to the community that builds us. And another tragedy that happened earlier this year was, thank you. It was, the Flames on Fire. The 8 of the members of the UIC team, guys whose house caught on fire, we were able to raise $12,000 and give money to these guys to be able to keep their lives going and make sure that they can keep going to school and train. And there we are. This is GymACT. GymACT is built by our community. Thank you, families. Thank you, moms. Thank you, dads. Thank you, everyone who's involved. And let's go back to our competition. Here we have this current day, we have KCU, brand new team for GymACT, and ASU, the oldest gym and team in GymACT, competing against one another. And we're back to you in the studio. John, take it away.
All right, we're ready to take it on here. Breeze, that was a great overview of what GymACT and the amazing thing the GymACT community is doing. But we're going to take it right back live to the action, coming to us from Emerald City Gymnastics in Kansas City. We're into our 6th event here, people. Let's see what KCU's got for us. Going for a big mount. Beautiful coming in from Kalen here. A little bit of an extra swing there, which is going to be a little bit of a deduction, but he's keeping it clean, so he's minimizing his loss there, which is just fantastic, and I could not be more excited. Oh, no. Oh, no. That was he fought so hard for that giant and just arched it out. And this is where we were talking about earlier. You see the nerves of an all-freshman lineup just getting to him a little bit, but that's okay. He's going to take his 30 seconds. He's allowed, get with his coach, make sure he knows what he needs to do, and then he's going to get back on his bar, and he's going to fight for his brothers.
Let's put it together here, buddy. Come on, let's go. Let's go, KCU.
All right. Kalen's back on the bar. He started so strong. Let's see if he can minimize his deduction like he did with that first mistake and bring it home. Swing a little more aggressively here. This is what he needs to do right here.
Nice.
Oh,
getting those requirements in bar for free hip.
Yep, and that's why he slowed his giant down so much. He that free hip element. You've got to slow down. You've got to have the control to hit the drop, and it just looks like he tried to slow down a little too much there. Interesting tap here. Oh, for a flying giant. That's one you don't see very often. Nice big double back.
All right, and that was the final presentation from Callan today on a high bar for KCU. Unfortunately, they had a fall there in the middle of the routine, but came back with a little bit more gusto and completed his routine well. Every skill needed was in there. So congratulations, Callan from KCU. Callan is a freshman from Kansas. He's from Lenexa, Kansas as a hometown, and he's going to Johnson Community College. And yes, these are college teams, and these guys are all students first, athletes second, and here in the competition floor, they're putting it all out in line for their brothers and their team. So here we go. Moving on to ASU, Alex Skanky.
Yep. And Alex is majoring in finance and minoring in real estate. And I think it's really important to talk about. These guys have to fundraise 100%. So it's like having a part-time job on top of being a college athlete, on top of all the homework, on top of training off-site. So they have to drive. And man, the amount of dedication from GymACT athletes is unparalleled. Nice Ronin from Alec there, flipping the hand, getting over the bar and right into his giant work. And actually, my studio is set up right over high bar, so I get to watch this one 100% live, only about 50 feet away from me. And you can see the look of determination on his face. Alec coming in for that free hip element that we just saw from KCU. And warming up for his dismount. Let's see what he's got for us. Huge full twisting double straight to a Sun Devil stuck dismount. That's what they need to do right there. Alex Skanky, you can see, getting met with his brothers. Big Sun Devil stuck dismount flag going up there. That's a great
flag
start
from the judges as well.
So Noah Spencer from KCU is going to be up, and he's going to have a big set to answer to here. But we'll see if this team can kind of take a deep breath. And they picked up so hard on vault and P-bars. Let's see if they can pick up again here on high bar. One of the greatest things about being on a college team versus a junior, where you're kind of out there competing for yourself in a lot of the junior programs is, as soon as Kellen comes off that high bar, he knows that Noah saw what just happened and knows that he's going to step up and pick up for his bobble there. So let's see what Noah's got from KCU here. Starting in a mixed grip. I'm excited to see what he mounts with here, Brees. Very nice endo to handstand.
Endo, all right to the handstand. We're looking for those tight angle, hitting the handstand as often as possible. That, of course, is not the intended direction of the giant, but he keeps it going. Sometimes the athlete wants to come down and recompose, and sometimes you just want to keep going. Well done,
picks it back up into a Tkachev there. Those flight elements are normally one of the hardest elements to be able to hit. And then you see that flying giant where they're actually swinging around the bar, picking their hands up, putting them back. That does not count for a release element. So way to just handle a small mistake there. Looks like he was going for a double lay there and just had to tuck it in a little bit. It's going to be real curious to see what the judges do with that.
You see a little bit of frustration being shown there at the end of the routine, but of course, it's all about keeping your head held high and knowing that your performance just now is the best performance that you have to show here and now and nothing else. And keep your head high up because your brothers are counting on you. Well done there, Noah. Congratulations on a good performance all throughout the meet today. And moving along to ASU, we have another Noah.
We actually just had a big mistake. Here in ASU, the in-person microphone here in the gym announced him, and he saluted and jumped to the bar. And thankfully, our team rep, Victor, was able to stop him before he mounted the equipment. But, here's the hard part. He was all hyped up, ready to go. He was hitting hard and had to kind of pull back on the throttle there. It's just like a dragster beating down the strip and then having to pull your foot out of the throttle, and then you got to put it back in. Let's see if he can keep it together. He's got a big smile on his face. I happen to know Noah's got a big
team's right behind him.
Set. Yep. Let's see if Noah here from ASU can answer Noah from KCU. Back up rise over the bar. I know Noah's got a very unique skill coming right here. His flight element, you don't see it very much in men's gymnastics. Huge pike Jaeger, and he's on the bar.
Nice. Right on the bar where it belongs.
Alex Skinky from ASU coming home with a 12.1 final score. Big double tuck from Noah. Small step on the dismount. Short, sweet, stayed on. Can't be upset about that.
Noah Hansen from ASU putting it all together with this false start there at the beginning, but let's just say that it never happened. Judges didn't see it, so it didn't happen.
But incredible job on Noah to calm his nerves in a very, very short amount of time and still put together a really nice set for ASU. We're still waiting on a score from Noah Spencer from KCU. Start value was a 13.2, but we have not seen what his deductions were. So we'll see if he can pick up for Callan there from KCU. But next up is going to be Chance. And, we talk about the nerves and the mental game here. He's watched the first two guys up make some mistakes, and he's got to take that deep breath and not let it get to him and fight hard. So let's see what he's got here, Breeze.
Always intrigued to see how these guys respond to, a team that's got a couple of glitches along the way. And what do you do now for your team? Oh, a little too much power, a little too late on that tap. Unfortunately, Chance goes a little too far past the bar. You saw him reach for dear life, but not quite enough. So now he's got 30 seconds to remount the apparatus. He's going to talk to his coach and make a decision right there and then. Is it worth it to risk trying it a second time? Does he need that skill to count as those coveted 7 skills or more for a full value and a routine? It is also, one of the requirements. Every event has at least 4 requirements, and a flight element is one of them. We'll see if it looks like he's going to move on, as if that was not there. And do the best you can with what you got. Oh, he's got another one. Tkachev.
Here's why.
Yep. So
Very
you did
nice.
not need that Voronin after all, and Tkachev covers that flight element. He's good to go.
Correct, and it was a great decision there from Coach Mike to just have him move on. He does miss out on the difficulty, but didn't need the element group, so it minimizes. And that's when you do have a mistake like that. It's all about minimizing it. Nice,
right.
Full twisting double tuck with a small hop. Way to put it together. Great performance from Chance all day today. Very, very solid in his college debut there. Noah Hansen comes home with a 10.8 from ASU, with a 12.8 start value with 2 points in deduction. So it is still very, very much. It's going to come down to these last few guys to see where this dual meet finishes up. And next up from ASU, we do have Blake. I'm going to say his name wrong if I don't look at it. Tingswan is how it's phonetically spelled out here on my paper. Comes to us from Gymnastics Olympica and is a sophomore to the team. And his team's getting him all hyped up here. And this is his favorite event. So that's a good sign as he gets ready to take the equipment here for ASU.
Yeah, high bar was my favorite event too. I love it. I think it's exciting. I think it's a thrilling event to be on. Wasn't necessarily my best event, but I certainly had fun doing it. And these guys, you can see, I mean, it's basically like flying an airplane. You're up there, you're going high, and nothing happens subtly on a high bar.
Nice Yamawaki over the bar. Good pirouette angle, and this is something really important to note. Every time you change direction over the top of the bar or you come out of an in-bar skill like you did there, the judges really want to see that finish in a nice tight handstand, finishing that blind change in handstand. Same thing for this jam element, right to handstand. Very, very nice from Blake, but that is going to be the number 1 deduction right there. Little low on that pirouette, but man, high bar angles. And again, another very uncharacteristic low dismount there as far as skill value. So I'm wondering if Blake is nursing an injury that they just didn't want to risk today.
Good chance of that. Either way, he's making sure that he puts it on his feet and doesn't take too much risk or pounding on his body. And it's always a good thing to keep yourself safe. Safety is number 1 priority every time.
Absolutely. And as I'm reading his bio here, one of the prompts for the athletes was the craziest thing you've ever done in your life. And Blake's bio says he once competed all around, not knowing that both of his rotator cuffs had small tears in them. So I'm wondering if we're running into a similar situation where he has a small injury that he's just not willing to risk, which is very, very smart as we're coming to the end of the season. And then we are actually going to stay with ASU for the next couple of athletes. KCU is done for the day, and we're still waiting for that final score from Chance. But we are moving to Brett Balzer from ASU. Again, I got to watch Brett train the other day after he was done coaching, and he's really, really worked hard on cleaning up his high bar. He's got some very, very unique elements coming up. See that Veronin over the bar, and then here we go. He gets into some very interesting flight elements that's called a quast right there, and then he comes right in. Again, these do not count for that flight element group. They count as a swing element, even though there is some flight there. Very, very unique Weiler right to that handstand. Very, very nice lines. He's been working really hard on cleaning up his body lines on high bar, and it's paying off, Breeze. Here we go, coming home for the dismount. Let's see what he's got for us. Very unique back layout over the top of the bar with a small hop. Great job from Brett.
A dismount that was coined by one of the great USA athletes, Dan Hayden. Dan also performed a couple of other skills on high bar. One of them has his name on it. Congratulations to all the athletes who have a skill named after them, which is a fantastic thing. The way that happens is that, we're talking about Tsukahara and Kazamatsu and Endo and all these great athletes whose skills are named after them, is that when you do the skill for the first time internationally and at a certified FIG competition, you get that skill named after you. So that's kind of a cool honor to have your name added to the code of points. And several American athletes have that, as well as athletes from all over the world. So it's always how we will talk about these elements by their name, in not only in honor of the athlete who performed it, but also it's a little easier to say Tsukahara than it is to say a double flipping in a tuck position with a full twist. It just makes it a little bit more easy for us to talk about them.
Yep, and you run into it all the time. That we kind of gymnastics has its own kind of shorthand language, and I'm gonna shut up and enjoy this one. This is Jackson Harrison. This is where I pitched him earlier. He's got some really, really unique stuff on high bar here. So we're just going to enjoy Jackson swinging some amazing high bar. Here we go, half throw it over the bar. And he gets right into his high flying right here with a Piatti.
Nice.
Very, very unique element.
If you can guess where that guy was from, first one to do a toe one, Tkachev. Tkachev, another athlete.
Yep, and that's a very common thing here in the sport of men's gymnastics. And then comes into a nice straddle Jaeger, another very unique element. You see it a lot in women's artistic gymnastics, but not very much in men's. And he comes home, nice big dismount, full twisting double tuck, also known as a Tsukahara to a Sun Devil stuck dismount.
Beautifully performed. Way to go, Jackson Harrison. Once again, not disappointing. A beautiful high bar routine, putting several release moves back onto the high bar. We call them releases, but the most important part is the catching, and he did that every time. Well done, Jackson. Well done indeed.
And great performance. Unfortunately, that was an exhibition set for ASU, but going out there and just showing that, you know, he is capable of much more. And so, when coaches look at lineups and they try to decide who's going to count for the team, who's not, who's going to compete for the team, these exhibition spots really come through because they are in a live competition environment around the team. So if they can hit here, a lot of times it'll earn them their spot. And we are up with our final athlete of such a great dual meet here this afternoon. And our final athlete from the Sun Devils is going to be Hayden Goldstein. Again, another very strong athlete who we've seen has just shown off that strength, but has a hard time trusting the technique sometimes, like we saw on parallel bars. So let's see what he's got for us here on high bar. If he can really swing, he's going to show off a nice exhibition set. Here you go, Hayden, nice half pirouette over the bar, getting right into the fun part of the routine, the high flying part. Beautiful Tkachev, a little loose on the giant out, but sometimes you got to sacrifice a little bit of form to make sure you stay on the bar. Nice Stalter, half pirouette directly into a full pirouette. Fantastic combination here. Great routine construction from Hayden. All right, he's got to settle down just a little bit as he comes into a nice big dismount. It's the final dismount of the competition. The last thing judges are going to see.
Ooh.
Well,
that was exciting.
That was very exciting.
Gets up again and finishes going. Yeah, I'm all right. There you go. Way to go there, Mr. Goldstein. That was an interesting way to finish the meet, ladies and gentlemen, but that will do it for us. This is the final routine in the competition, dual meet, first one ever from Kansas City United against the veterans from Arizona State. My name is Breeze Olson, and with me has been Kevin Riggle. This was a phenomenal gymnastics presentation from both teams. Now, stick around. We are going to be announcing the team winners momentarily and then finalize the official ending of the meet, of course, with our GymACT back tuck. And finally, after that, we will definitely be doing a few more presentations of awards for the individuals on each event, and also some special awards given out by the judges, as well as the team members themselves. So, boys, girls, gentlemen, women, dogs, cats, everyone who loves gymnastics, thank you so much for being here with us. Now, Kevin, what a great meet this was. This was exciting. I loved it.
This was fantastic. And, we've been talking about it all day long. KCU coming out with a lineup of only freshmen and only 5 guys. That is a really small team. You're allowed up to 15. So they're really working with a third of the lineup that a lot of these other teams are working with. And they came out, they showed that they've got a lot of potential in them. I think they just need some more competitive experience, and I'm just so glad that we were able to provide that today, even if it is over the virtual option, as it is a little bit different. So I'm going to be really excited as they come through about the next month and a half leading into the USAG National Championships that all the GymACT teams will be represented out of. And it's going to be very interesting to see, how their coaches set up their training plan to put a little bit more pressure on them, because we saw a lot of great gymnastics from them. They just need to be able to take that deep breath, trust their training, and really throw down what they hit every day in practice. So it's exciting gymnastics from KCU, and just such an exciting time in men's gymnastics. A year ago we saw programs drop after programs drop, and then all of a sudden GymACT came in, and a lot of very, very motivated, amazing people, such as Coach Steve and Coach Mike from KCU there, went, no, we're not letting this happen. We've got another organization here. We can help them out, and we can get this going. And they formed another team. Same thing with Georgia United. They had their inaugural competition about a month ago, did amazing, and they're going to start small. But once they come out and they show some strong potential, I think we're going to see some really, really competitive men's gymnastics on the college circuit again. And if I were one of the big college teams, I'd be paying attention. A lot of times, some of the bigger college teams, they go, that's just GymACT club. But man, I will tell you, these guys are hungry, and they're out here. The coaches, the athletes are out here to fight, and they may not be there yet, but Breeze, I think you saw the same thing I did today. KCU is going to be very dangerous as long as they can keep this momentum moving forward.
Absolutely. You cannot discount any one of these teams. They're young and they're hungry, like you're saying, and that's exactly how it works. We have, knocking at our doorsteps here in NorCal, we have several athletes that have contacted us. They're suffering through this COVID stage of life that we are all facing, but they are knocking at our door and going, "Hey, you guys still a team? Do I have a spot? What's going on?" Right? And so yes, we're getting recruits, we're getting people interested, we're getting people noticing the fact that college teams are building, on this front, and it's an exciting thing, because if you are in a section of the country that does not have a college program that is high competitive in nature, we are here as an organization. GymACT is one of our jobs is to help teams develop, and we can say with a certainty that this has been proven not only possible, but it has actually happened already. Every year we're building one or two more teams, and there we are. We got KCU this year. We got Georgia United, another team that formed out of quote unquote thin air. They are not affiliated with any one university, but every one of their athletes, they're college athletes. They want to continue competing in a high level. They train for 10, 15 years of their lives already. They want to have that opportunity. And here we are building these programs. So if you're in a section of the country that does not have a college program that you are happy with, or that is competitive enough, give us a call. Go to gymact.org, contact us on our contact forms, and we will work with the local coaches. We will work with the local universities. We will help you get your foot in the door in the college scene. And you saw these guys here from KCU today stepping it up. A group of 5 freshmen doing great jobs here, and showing some wonderful potential. And not only that, we also saw some phenomenal gymnastics. We didn't never mind the potential. We saw some good scores. We saw some solid routines. These guys are showing that they are here, establishing a presence, and they can only get better from here. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. And I think it's really important. Right above where you're watching this right now, there is a donate button. If you have the means, please consider making a donation. Every penny counts to GymACT here, as 100% of those funds go to help move men's college gymnastics forward. It's unfortunate that some other organizations that have the ability to help, either maybe don't have the ability and we just don't know it, or they're choosing not to. And so I just cannot say enough to Breeze and Coach Scott Barclay and all of GymACT and John Lucas and everybody. A lot of this, all of this time is volunteer hours. And it's just so awesome as the director of a junior program. It is just so awesome to see the passion, everything continuing to create more opportunities for all of the young ones. Coming up through junior programs. So I'm just so excited. If you have the means, please consider right above this video, clicking that donate, and anything helps so we can continue moving this forward. But I do believe we're ready to kind of move on to some awards presentations. Looks like the judges are finishing up, and I thank you so much for being here, and I can't wait to see what some of these awards come out to be.
Yes, indeed. Once again, thank you to the community who has been here supporting us and tuned in and paying attention and chiming in on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being there. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your questions. Looks like you guys are taking care of each other's communication there. Obrigado to all of you. I would like to say that we are almost done. What's going on in the background is that we're waiting for the we were waiting for the coaches to verify the scores. Basically, they go back to the Virtual Stars website. They looked at all those start values, and to make sure that it jived with what they were intending to receive, and making sure that the judges didn't miss or award too much for one thing or another. And looks like we got the verification from both of the coaches right now. So what I would like to do is, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure and an honor to be here with you in this first ever gymnastics competition between Kansas City United and anyone else in the world. And just happens to be, it is Arizona State, the current national champions, the reigning champions of now 21 years, always being pushed hard by other teams, but coming up on top every time so far. Will that streak continue much longer now that the GymACT teams are growing and there's more competition right up on their heels? And Coach Scott must know about what's going on. He's watching these teams grow and nibble at his heels every year more and more. So ASU, keep an eye out. Here comes KCU. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving right along with the presentation of the awards. First, I would like to present the team scores. And we have between these two teams today, the criteria was a 4-man up, 4 count for the team competition. And as such, we have in second place with 249.1 points, the team, the newbies, the first time ever Premier World for Kansas City United. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you are. Raise your hands and celebrate a brand new team in the world of college gymnastics. Congratulations. And in first place, once again, showing why they are the reigning national champions, putting up four count in every event with 4 stuck landings throughout the competition today with 288.8 points. The men from Arizona State.
That's a big team score right there. Both these teams came out and threw down hard 100% of the time.
That is totally true. And here's what we're going to do. Now, we're going to end officially the gymnastics competition with a 1, 2, 3, go GymACT backflip. So teams, please be warned by your respective team representatives, and that we're going to spread out across the floor. And then any one of the judges and coaches here with us virtually, if you have the means, the ability, and the safety, please perform this with us. I will count 1, 2, 3. We will all say go GymACT together. And then if you can, go ahead and perform a backflip. Now, once again, stay tuned, because after the official closure of this event, we will be presenting the individual awards. So don't go nowhere, which is obviously grammatically incorrect, but who cares? I'm from Brazil. So here we are, getting ready. I'm just making sure the guys are safe on the floor. Looks like we are. Rob, are you going to do your flip today with us? Oh, man, I'm going to put you on the spot. All right, here we go. If you guys can see this like I can, Robert Davis, the score master extraordinary. No, we can't see it. All right, don't worry about it. We're going to go on 3. Ladies and gentlemen, with all the love, care, appreciation, and gratitude that I have from me to you, one gym rat to another, we are going to close this ceremony today together. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, go GymACT. Yes, indeed. Backflips across the country. That's the way we do it here at GymACT, ladies and gentlemen. GymACT Live. Thank you from me, Breeze Olson in Santa Cruz, California, John Lucas in Sacramento, Robert Davis in Arizona, somewhere under a bunker somewhere. We have Mike Cook judging. We had Brian Cooper judging. We had John Portillo judging. We had Kevin Riggle, my brother, in speaking. Thank you so much, Coach Scott Barkley and Coach Mike Thomas, and all of those who were helping out. Fantastic job. Now, please hang out with us. We got to stick around for another 15 minutes or so, giving out some individual awards. But for the moment, I just want to say much mahalo. Thank you. Obrigado to all of you. Aloha, and stay safe, stay healthy, help each other, be kind to your brothers and sisters. And that's and thank you to all the moms and dads out there. I want to say a quick shout out to my mother. Mom, thanks for everything. I love you. Mãe, eu te amo. Muito obrigado por tudo. I love my family. They stuck with me for a long time in gymnastics and brought me up as a gym rat, and I'm thankful for that. So there you are. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to present the individual awards. And here you are. If you can hear me in your respective gyms, I will be announcing the floor exercise winner first. And it'll go like this. In first place on the floor exercise in today's competition, scoring a huge whopping 13.4 from ASU, Mr. Jackson Harrison. Well done. Let's give it up for Jackson. First place on floor exercise. There you see him on the screen. Looking good. All right, coaches, get ready. I'm going to put you on the spot a little later, so you're going to have to talk to me. Get ready to unmute yourselves. Just a warning shot there. All right, in first place on the pommel horse, always known as the hardest event in gymnastics. He swung hard and fast. He was the first guy up for ASU with a 12.2. Mr. Hayden Goldstein with a 12.0. Excellent job indeed. In fact, some great pommel horse routines today. I was impressed. Up on the rings, the ring master of today's competition. He kept them still, as the name implies, still rings, with a 12.5. Today's winner, first place from ASU, Mr. Nate Hutchinson. Well done, Nate. There he is. Vault was a good day. It was a good day indeed. We had a lot of great vaults, a lot of great Kazamatsus, but one man stood out amongst all others with an incredibly beautiful and well-executed, sky high, beautiful vault indeed. Congratulations with a 14.0, losing only 0.4 of a point. That is amazing. Mr. Jackson Harrison from Arizona. Dude, that was awesome. Awesome indeed. That was an exciting day. What is your highest scoring vault ever? Anybody out there? How many tenths did you get off? 4 tenths off on a 14.4 vault. That's awesome. Congratulations, Jackson. All right, moving on to parallel bars. We have, with a 12.8 in first place on parallel bars from Arizona State, Sir Andrew Fincher. Congratulations, Andrew. A beautiful routine. Once again, showing that execution is the name of the game in college gymnastics. Keep it clean. And it was not a huge surprise here on the high bar. There were some good routines, but only one stood out more than others, and with a 12.1. His name from ASU is Alec Skanky. Congratulations, Alec from ASU. A lot of wonderful runner-ups, but we only get the first place guys announced. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we move on to my favorite part of the award ceremony, which is two very important things to me. And one is a recognition of style, of grace, of amplitude, of risk. Now, there used to be in gymnastics something called ROV, risk, originality, and virtuosity. And that was actually awarded points in the routine. To get to a 10.0, you had to not only perform great gymnastics, but you had to please the judges aesthetically. You had to show some beautiful artistic value to your routine. Now, that's no longer the case. We took away the subjectivity of judging. We made it very precise and very labeled what the scoring can be. But now we're bringing this back informally, and I'm asking the judges now to chime in. And I'm sure I'm going to have one of the judges come out here. John, I hope it's you, because you promised you would. Maybe not. Maybe not. All right. So let's bring out one of the judges here, and let's see, what is the ROV recipient of today's competition in your mind? What was the most striking performance in your point of view?
Okay, can you hear me okay there?
I can hear you beautifully. Thank you for coming in.
Great. Yes. So we saw one routine today that fit every single one of those categories. And it was on high bar. It had a Weiler half, a Weiler full, and then a double pike over the top of the bar. We don't see that very often, and it was done very well. I'm not sure if this is how you say this gentleman's name, but it'll fit for the award here. And his name is Brett Balzer. So fantastic job. And hey, we love seeing all of these GymACT athletes together. So cool that we've got one of the newest teams and one of the longest standing teams together. So thanks for pointing that out, Breeze.
Yeah, indeed. And John, you competed for ASU, didn't you?
I did.
Or no, you.
I was
Yeah.
really early in the club days. I competed with ASU, and we were much like the KCU team right now.
How many guys were in your squad when you were competing that year?
5.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly why I asked the question, expecting the answer. 5 guys started ASU today with nearly 50 on the roster. So a powerhouse of gymnastics just takes time, love, dedication, and that's exactly what we're seeing today from the KCU team. Kansas City, thank you for being here. That was phenomenal. So John and the judges, once again, many thanks to you guys for the hard work that you have put in today in your judging world and getting ready for this meet and putting up with the technology and all the glitches and working through it with professionalism and grace. So thank you guys all for what you've done. And the last award for the night is going to come from the athletes. So here's where I put them on the spot. So teams, hopefully you have already a chance to talk amongst yourselves about the most valuable teammate award. So if you haven't already, I'm going to stall while you decide who amongst you best exemplifies your team motto, right? Who is the best team representative today in this competition? Now, we've created this award not to single out any one athlete, but most to single out the value of the team, right? And basically to say, this is what we stand for, this is what we're going for. And in today's meet, this is the guy who best exemplified that. So this is the spirit of this award, is to say, hey, this is from the team, not from the coaches, not from the judges. This is from the inside. So I'm going to call out on ASU first. So Scott, I see you're there ready with your team captain. So as soon as you can, unmute yourself in Discord in the live on air channel. And so I can hear your beautiful voice. And then we'll start talking.
Should be good.
Oh, I can hear you now.
Oh, it's my microphone.
Yeah, you get to. We can hear you. We can hear you. So first of all, introduce yourself.
So going off today's results, I've noticed. Okay. All right. So after looking at today's results, all of the team did great, but one particular gymnast stood out in particular. Hit 6 for 6 today, and with 3 sticks. Oh wow! Hit 6 for 6 and had 3 sticks today. Jackson Harrison's our MVP today.
Bring him out, because you know I'm going to ask him some questions. Jackson, can you hear me?
What are they saying, Vic? I don't know. Vic, are they saying anything?
Yeah. We want to hear from Jackson. We want to find out how he feels about having been honored by his teammates for this particular award, being recognized for his valiant efforts and presentation today.
Being recognized for this award.
Yeah. It feels great to be recognized because I've been putting in the work in the gym, working really hard, staying dedicated, staying motivated. So just happy that results are coming through.
Speak loud. Yeah.
That is beautiful. Jackson, thank you and congratulations.
It's a great day. Have a great day. Period.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, the communication is going back and forth like a game of telephone here, so we're just going to keep it short. I'm just going to say thank you so much, you guys. Congratulations for that recognition, Jackson. Well deserved indeed.
Jackson Harrison, the end.
There we are. And yes, that was a phenomenal performance by so many athletes today. But in his own teammates' words and in point of view, Jackson deserved the most valuable teammate award for today. So well done. All those incredible values we've been talking about all along, with the ASU team and their history. And so way to follow up on that dynasty there. So let's go to the KCU team. Can I get a voice from their space? Who do I hear? Let's find out how to unmute there. And
Breeze, can you hear us?
I can hear you now, loud and clear.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
This is Braden Jevney, our team captain.
Awesome, Braden. How you doing today, brother?
I'm good.
Good. And so you guys understand what this is all about? We're presenting the most valuable teammate award.
Yes. For our most valuable teammate, we chose Noah Spencer. He always comes in and he always works his hardest. He's helped tremendously in developing our team and coming up with schedules and helping everyone. Every day he always tries to come up with new ways and to help everyone do their best.
That's awesome. And let's bring him online here. Let me ask him a couple of questions.
Hello.
Hey, Noah, how are you?
Doing pretty good.
Congratulations on being recognized by your teammates on your first ever competition, and you're the first one to receive this recognition. How do you feel?
I feel good about it.
Do you have any words of wisdom back to them or to the world or to the community?
I guess just to remember that the season isn't over, and we still got a lot of hard work to do before nationals, and I plan on working as hard as I can and pushing my teammates as hard as they can too.
Fantastic. Now, let me ask you a couple of questions first here. First of all, congratulations on your first ever team competition against an opponent in real time. And how did that feel to you guys to have that real time pressure of having another team on the screen up against you?
Well, I honestly felt like it was easier than a real meet, just because we're both in our home gyms, and it's all pretty lax. We just competed on the stuff that we always practice on, and we work hard doing routines at the gym. So same thing we always do.
There you go. There you go. And then I'm going to open it up here to the rest of the team. If anyone wants to chime in on the next question, is kind of an open-ended question, is tell me a little bit about your experience in college gymnastics so far. I know this is a weird year for all of us in the world, but I'm asking you specifically, how does it feel to be competing in a college team versus what it did just a few months ago in a club gymnastics junior Olympic setup? Anything that strikes you as different or amazing or not great?
I think that the team aspect is a lot more important. I know that as a junior, it is important to try and get a team score, but in college, it's really just about the team rather than the individual. And so I think trying to have practices where we're working as a team and pushing each other as a team rather than just focusing on kind of our own lanes has been a little bit different, but I like it.
Awesome. Any of the other guys there want to add to anything to the differences between college versus JO?
No, they don't.
No, they don't. That's well said, everybody. All right, so guys, congratulations, a very young team. You guys did a great job today. I was really impressed with all of your gymnastics, some great ability being shown, also some great potential being shown, and then I'm looking forward to seeing this team grow literally in numbers and in quality and quantity of gymnastics. So congrats there. So, guys, thank you so much. Let's pass it back. The last word of the evening will be to the coaches themselves. So, coaches, if you are still available and able, can I just get the last word first from ASU, the visiting team? Anyone there who wants to represent the team? Scott, if you're available, that'd be great. Otherwise, there you are. Just a couple of final words and your perspective on how today's meet went. And in your experience.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Oh, I didn't hear the question. How you
Well,
doing?
hi, Scott. This is just the final words, just a goodbye from the coaches. So anything you got to say to us and your experience with this meet?
I can't hear anything right now. I think did you hear anything?
Hello, testing. Oh, let me try this. Scott, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right, so this is just your final words from the coaches, just your impressions from today's meet.
Guys, what's really cool about college gymnastics over junior gymnastics is the team atmosphere, the team effort, and the excitement, and the whole team concept. So our guys, they haven't competed a whole lot this year. And to be able to do that as a team, this team, they really showed a lot of team spirit, and they pulled for each other all the way down to the last guy dismounted on high bar. And that's what kind of impresses me a lot about it. And, when you build a team, you figure these guys got to get behind each other. It's not just one-on-one anymore. It's 1-on-15-on-1. So I thought it was a really great team effort, and we met our goal of almost sticking 10 routines. I think we got 9 out of 10, so that was good. And a pretty good hit percentage. So what these guys have been through this year, I was real proud of them.
And indeed, congratulations on a great performance from your team altogether, and a few individuals who really stood out and looking great out there. I mean, I know these guys are probably chomping at the bit, trying to get their spot in a team, a large squad, of a few dozen athletes there. But now throughout the meet, we were talking about the fact that your team, the teams competing today, yours is the oldest club team and the most experienced GymACT club out there. And then we have KCU, the newest gymnastics team in the GymACT world. And there's this disparity of amount of time and experience. So do you have any words of wisdom to this young team, literally all made up of freshmen, five of them, just as John Portillo pointed out earlier today, is that when he started with you guys had 5 guys in your squad. And now look at you with 2 full teams representing all across the country. That's phenomenal. So any words of wisdom to a young team or perhaps an aspiring team thinking of joining the gymnastics world, the college gymnastics world in GymACT?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say congratulations to KCU for getting up there, making this step, and being a team. That's the biggest thing. And it really comes down to the guys on the team to say, what do you want? You want to compete, you want to do gymnastics, you want to get better at what you do, and here's an opportunity through a GymACT program like KCU to be able to do that. And to really work hard. It takes a lot of hard work. Gymnastics is a really hard sport, as everybody knows. But as far as the team goes, man, I have respect for anybody that puts a team on the floor, and especially works through this COVID year. It's been pretty tough. So congratulations to them. And I would just say this. Whatever you put your heart to and you have a passion for, you can do it. And there's other people that will climb aboard and help you with it, but you got to put the work into it and you got to go for it. So you guys have started off, you made the big jump, and I just expect a lot more to see from you guys. Can't wait to see you at Nationals this year and see those scores even get better because you know what you got to work at.
Great words of wisdom there from the great Scott Barkley from Arizona State. Scott, thank you so much for everything that you do to help us out and help me out personally. I'm just going to say thank you because you keep me on my toes and you make sure that I cross my T's and dot my I's on all my communication back to you guys. I appreciate that. So congratulations to you and your team today. A good score for your team, and onward we go. Right, onward bound, road to nationals, baby.
Hey, thanks, and thanks to the whole production team for putting this together. Really appreciate it, and have a great rest of the weekend, guys.
Thank you. And finally, the final word from the head coach from Kansas City United, Mr. Mike Thomas. Mike, are you there with us?
I'm just gonna keep.
I hope so. Can you hear me?
All right, I can hear you beautifully. Thank you for being here with us. And once again, thank you and congratulations. Now, how do you feel about your first ever gymnastics competition in the college world against the current reigning national champions?
Yeah. Well, congratulations to Arizona State University for the fine team they've developed. And we wish you well for the rest of your season and good luck at nationals. You definitely have set the bar very high for other GymACT teams. As far as words of wisdom, Scott Barkley has given me many words of wisdom in encouraging us to start this program. The team that I have this year of only 5 freshmen has been the best team to start with. These guys work hard, and I tell them the same thing. Sometimes you have a team that makes you as a coach want to be in the gym more, and that's what this team is. They've got heart.
I was waiting for that.
They're respected by the junior gymnasts in our program, and they help them. These guys they're working so hard to be a part of this. Some of them are working 2 and 3 jobs just to be able to afford to go to college and afford to be in gymnastics. So they've made many sacrifices, and I appreciate that. And we want our program to continue to build and to grow because of the work that they put into it.
And that's so crucial. Congratulations to you guys for finding this group of individuals, and then opening the doors. In this case, literally in the gym, where so many gyms in the country are having a tough time keeping the doors open, and the numbers running under whatever the current status is for their own locations, and to have a place there you guys have Emerald City. So a quick little shout out to Emerald City Gymnastics Center right there in Kansas for opening your doors and allowing these athletes to have a place to train and a place to thrive in their gymnastics. And also, again, Scott putting his time and his money where his mouth is. Aspire Kids Sports Center, that's his home gym. He created that space specifically for his team to be able to train, and there he is making it happen. So congratulations to both of these teams for having the right humans to come
Hey,
into the
Breeze.
gym and to do what they can.
Hey, Breeze.
Yeah.
Can I say thank you to Steve Glickley for all the work that he does for
please
Emerald
do.
City and for
Yeah,
our
this is the time
program
to-
developing?
Yeah, and is he around? Can we say hi to him real quick?
What's that?
Can we say hi to him? Is he around?
Yeah, Steve. This is his phone, by the way. So
yeah, there you go.
He's
Give it
allowed
back
to
to him.
speak on it. Thank you, Breeze, for all you did today.
You're welcome, Mike. It's a pleasure.
Hi, Breeze.
Hey, Steve. First of all, thank you for all your technical expertise and support behind the scenes today. In fact, all the last 2 weeks, what people don't know is that we've been on the phone a lot lately, making sure that the technicalities are all taken care of. So thank you for that. And secondly, I want to say thank you from the gymnastics perspective to you are the head of state there at that gym, and for opening your doors for these guys to have a place to train and compete. So congratulations. And do you have any words to share with the world on what you've done and what your experience has been?
Not really. Thanks for helping us. I think the biggest thank you from both Mike and I is back to Scott. He was here in town, 3 years ago for a clinic, and we've been working towards having something other than to tell the kids to hang up their grip. So we're off and running, and we're proud of what these boys are doing, and we hope we set an example for other teams to get started.
Steve, I'm going to end on that note right there. Thank you so much. Much gratitude to everyone involved. Once again, the gymnastics community is grand and it is powerful. From an old gym rat myself to everyone out there who's been involved in the sport in the smallest amount or the biggest amount. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for GymACT Live. My name is Breeze Olson. On behalf of John Lucas and Robert Davis, I thank you, Kevin Riggle, for your commentary, and judges Brian Cooper, Mike Cook, and John Portillo. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And to all the coaches and judges out there in the world, keep at it. The sport is worth it. These guys are worth it. Congratulations and be well. Take care of one another. Much mahalo. God bless. Aloha.